African, very African, in the words of Brother Jay. Welcome to the show that you've heard so much about, the host that you've heard so much about, host plural, as in both of us. Welcome to Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the mouthpiece of the movement, militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer. Welcome aboard for another edition. I haven't been on the mic. We didn't do a show last Wednesday. I got build up, so y'all gotta excuse me if I get a little wordy tonight. But I'm not alone. So tell a friend to tell a friend the show is going down. Outlaw Radio live from the basement. Mr. Kyle, what's popping with you, homie?
Peace, family. Peace. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. And y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you nature nature herbs and supplements and vitality. You can find that on Facebook, Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements, or you could go to my health page, Healthy Self Heal Thyself, and ask about me. Or you can go to my page, Kamar Carter. Inbox me and I'll tell you how to get your nature nature herbs and supplements and or vitality. And guess what, y'all? Them smoothies is coming back, y'all. Them smoothies is coming back. With a vengeance. I'm telling you, it's coming, y'all. It's coming. Stay real close. Stay real close.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Talk your shit. Come on, talk your shit.
Yeah. Hey, if I don't want nobody do it, goddammit.
Matter of fact, 414 all together now. Talk your shit. You want to do that? The number is 262-202-5131. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen, slowly but surely. You are too near me not to hear me. I'm telling y'all, I'm saucy as fuck tonight. I feel good, man. This microphone do something to me. All my ailments go away, man. I don't know what I don't know what's going on, Kamar. Shout out to Tall Tim Pops. Greetings from the concrete. Yes, sir. Absolutely. We do have a chat room. We do have a phone line. You can get involved. This conversation is always three-dimensional. And we always say Outlaw Radio is the show where you're always right? Like you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want to say on Outlaw Radio, and it's your opinion, so you're always right. Right? And we say the opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Know who to be mad at moving forward. Dion, I see you, man. I see you. What you need, bro? What you need? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. No, I was pointing at you like it's your
fault. Okay. It was just that motherfucker like
you said that shit. Like
right. Off top, right. Accountability is what we strive for. Dion, I see you said I'm up in this motherfucker. Outlaw, man. Outlaw Radio, man. Do you understand the outlaw principalities that we discuss on the show? You oftentimes feel like you are not part of the crowd. You are not a go along to get along type of individual. You feel the way you feel. And you feel like you should deserve to say the shit out loud without a some bitch trying to cancel you. Well, welcome to Outlaw Radio if you feel that way. Right?
Come on over to Death Row Records.
Right. You don't want the host all up in your videos, right? Mr. Valentine, what to do on this beautiful Monday evening?
Peace, man. Glad to be here.
What's that, real? Hey, it'd be funny coming in on a conversation, don't it? That should be funny.
Right. Yeah,
right, because you never know where the fuck we at, right? Like you might walk into some full shit. Like people done walked into some full shit fights. Like these motherfuckers only early. It goes down like that on Outlaw Radio, man. I'm trying to tell you, ain't nobody doing this. Nobody's doing this except for us. I'm trying to tell you, you can hate all you want. Eventually, you're gonna have to come on in, as Kamar says. Dion said, I'm in this motherfucker ready to talk shit. And Dion does that. Dion does that, man. Listen, I always, it's been a weekend, man. It's been a crazy weekend. If we start talking about the weather, I'm never tripping on the weather in Milwaukee because I've been here my whole life. So I'm never bugging on the weather, and I'm like, it's fucking Milwaukee,
right?
And,
what it is.
So it could snow, it could rain, it could thunder, it could lightning. The elements are what they are, right? Same day, type day. Right. I'm talking about earth, wind, and fire in this son bitch. So I'm never tripping, right?
In the same day.
In the same day. Well, you got earthquake, a tornado, and a flood later on that day. It's just another day in Milwaukee. Right. So my people, we get stuck on stupid with this. Woe is me. Oh my God, this shit's so horrible. All right, what am I gonna do? Everybody's against me. People don't want me to have nothing. I got haters. Oh Lord. Instead of just saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do me.
You your biggest hater.
I'm gonna do. You are. I've said that many times, Kamar. People don't think about it. You know who your biggest op is? It's you. You are your biggest enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are the motherfucker that when you say I can't, it won't happen. If another motherfucker say it ain't gonna stop you. If you say the shit to yourself, it really ain't happening, right? So don't be self-defeated, man. Don't be your own worst enemy. Love yourself. Tell yourself I'm good. I got 3 teeth, 2 in my mouth and 1 in my pocket, but they mine. And then work on getting you some more. That's all it is, right? You know what I mean? Instead of oh my God, I ain't got no teeth. Hey man, these ways, man. People don't know the came this before, right? you can get you some teeth, man. TEEF. Outlaw Radio, I told you. It's live from the basement, man. And it's all about everything. Live from a planet called Milwaukee. Once upon a time called right now. We're gonna talk shit tonight. We had another mass shooting. So I have to start because there was one in Tennessee, but there were 5 people shot overnight at the Prime Social Restaurant. They got a bunch of I don't go out anymore. So I don't know all the hottest joints, but this is the Prime Social Club, the restaurant, and 5 people were shot. Thank God nobody died. But I started to think about the violence in the city because there were other people shot. And I'm gonna get to the mass shooting in Tennessee as well. But like I see people who want to place blame. Kamar is like that. Some people got like a good like an angel and a devil on their shoulder. I got like Kamar on one shoulder and my wife on the other one, right? Like so sometimes when I start thinking about shit, I hear Kamar's voice and he's always saying, okay, we get it. It's fucked up. Okay. What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And I always tell Kamar, like, first of all, we gotta be talking about some shit because it's a talk show.
Right. Hey, they'll be like, nigga, it's a podcast. We gotta talk.
Kamar be on this motherfucker like, dude, I don't even want to talk about this shit. Bro, you on a whole podcast.
The show over.
Get that shit off, right? Right? Like I'm ready to go. I'm just finna shut down for the rest of the night. But I'm saying, like, I see people and it's this debate about what Milwaukee is and who's to blame for what. And we talk, of course, the black leaders that we've newly elected get the blame, but is it really their fault? Can I look at the mayor? Can I look at the mayor? Hold on, Kamar. Just let me just get. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you talk.
There we go.
I just want to get this one out. Can I look at the mayor? Can I look at the mayor and say, "This your fault"? I don't think I can. I can't. Now there's some criticism there, of course, but we talking about people who placing blame. Is it his fault? No, absolutely not. Now, Kamar, go ahead. I want you to be able to pop your shit.
I was just gonna say, it's everybody's fault. Technically,
okay.
You know what I mean? We can't just blame one person, especially if you're going to the root of it.
Okay.
Then you got to talk about everything that we talk about in the community. You know what I mean? Everybody who doing fucked up shit in the community. We got to talk about everything. Not just the mayor. The mayor supposed to place different laws in place for bullshit that's going on in the community and for the things that we need in the community, but for the most part, I think everybody is to blame. Police, us, parents, you know what I'm saying? The kids themselves, you know what I mean? We got to everybody got to take some accountability for their own shit. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot to blame. You can't just place it on one person or one job.
And this is objective thinking. Because I want to ask people this. Civically, do you know what the mayor actually does? Do you know the limits and the extents of his said authority or power? Do you know what he can and can't do? If you don't know these different things, you got to shut the fuck up. Sorry, I couldn't think of no better way to put it. See, you can't complain about something you don't understand. You can repeat what other people say. Do you know how this city is financed? Do you understand the structure of the government, the local government that we have here? You know, a lot of cases we got people who talk a lot of shit, but they don't really understand. Does the mayor have absolute power? Can he walk in places and go to this, that, and the third and shit go bada bing? Hell no. No, nowhere near. There's checks and balances. Listen, he deals with a lot of gatekeepers. He deals with a lot of financiers.
Hell, he is a gatekeeper.
Right. And he has to deal with big business because at the end of the day, big business is what's popping. If you ain't with it, see, this is why I want to tell poor people. But you know, poor is a mentality. Shout out to all the outlaws. First of all, share the show. Because I'm getting. See, I told you I jump off the deep. I jump out the window early. It's a lot of shit. So, in my chat room, Tall 10 Pops, he says I'd be cool if he fixed the motherfucking potholes. I would too, but guess what? He don't fix potholes, right? What he can do is he can get on the phone and make a phone call to a motherfucker that's head of a department and say, hey, man, I'm getting a lot of complaints about the potholes. And you know what that dude's going to say to him? No shit, Sherlock. I'm complaining about the potholes. The reality of it is I got this many men with this many hours. This is our budget. This is what we have. It's called red tape, right? So, yeah, it feels good when you hear the bump and say, fuck Mayor Johnson. But these streets was fucked up before he took the office, right? And it's not a direct, he can't call dudes and say, man, I want every goddamn truck you got out there right now to go fix these streets, especially when the snow just fell and most of that manpower went to driving plows. Because you want your streets salted, don't you? You ain't motherfuckers ain't even plowing the street. Well, them the same motherfuckers. Them the same people who fix the potholes. It's all DPW. I'm just saying, know who to be mad at, right? I feel like the mayor should do that before every press conference. First of all, in the city of Milwaukee, the opinions expressed at this press conference are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. I feel like he should do that, right? I want the potholes fixed too, goddammit. I don't want my rims dinged. I got nice rims on my Chariot. Dion says the mayor is like the president, his power is bound by the council members. Absolutely, it's checks and balances. Local government is like the federal, just smaller. There's a man who understands what I'm saying to you, people. Now, where does voting come in? Voting comes in because you get to make a decision on the type of individual you believe should be down there. Even though you might think it doesn't matter if you vote or not, I'm here to tell you it does. I'm here to tell you it does. Because the motherfuckers that's down there, if you step to them and say, man, and I'm gonna do it like we do it on Capitol. Say, man, you ain't handling your business, man. We're gonna have to make some changes, bro. That's how we would have said it back in the days. That means the job you're doing is not good enough, and we're gonna look for someone to replace you. I'm just saying, man, know who to be mad at. Outlaw Radio live from the basement, man. Shout out to those victims of that shooting down in Tennessee. A female shooter says she was teen. Don't know if she was black or white yet. I believe 3 people dead, 5 people shot. 5 people were shot at here overnight. Violence, right? Violence. I mean, is that not the American way? What's our favorite sport? Boxing, football, hockey, wrestling. We like fighting so much. We cheered on the business that did fake fighting, wrestling. Motherfuckers jumping off turnbuckles and shit, hitting each other with chairs. We're like, yeah, this is America, baby. This is we like to hunt, we like to fish, we like to do whatever we want to do, and better not damn motherfucker say nothing about it. Locally and globally, we get to doing some shit over in the island somewhere in China. Say, what y'all doing? Say, fuck you. Do what the fuck we want to do. We're America. We'll kick your ass. It's the American way, right? So, but that's not to demean or belittle the crime. It's anytime anybody loses their life, it's tragic. And I hate gun crimes because I'm a gun guy. And I believe in responsible ownership of firearms. And it makes me look bad as a responsible, passionate gun guy when somebody misuses. I'm just saying.
Man, fuck that.
Really? Okay. Expand on that. Expand on that. Talk your shit.
I like guns too, and a gun is a tool. It's as benign or malicious as its wielder. I mean, shit, chefs don't look bad every time a motherfucker gets stabbed or sliced the fuck up, but it's a tool. A knife is either a tool to cut in the kitchen or it's a weapon. A hammer drives nails or it's a weapon. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the individual. It's always the individual. Fuck what they using, and people be like, well, if they didn't have a high capacity magazine, they couldn't have did as much damage. Fuck all that. If motherfuckers was doing damage in the Middle Ages, poisoning the whole fucking meal. They was wiping out families and visitors with poisonous herbs. So if a person is a killer, they just a killer. It ain't guns.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you brought me down. I'm telling you, I was taking this shit personal. Like, because I see somebody, because I feel like, because you fucking up, they gonna come take my shit. Because I'm the legal guy, right? Like,
Man,
so
shit.
now you want to come and get my 50, 75 round clip that I got for my assault rifle. And I want one because they got one. So I'm like, if you keep fucking up, they're gonna come take all our shit. So you're right though. You made a great point.
I posted an article about this cat in Texas. I guess it happened a few years ago where they said basically he got in an altercation and assaulted a sheriff because the sheriff was trying to take his firearm or arrest him for having it. And he was saying that he didn't need to have a permit to carry protection for himself. Right. So it all came down to him, his family, and all the people who agree with him encamped on his like 27 acres of land, and they was telling the cops, y'all can come try to get these guns, but somebody gonna die.
That sound like Waco. Waco.
No, Waco, everybody died.
Right.
This dude, shit, he lived to tell a tale. Like at the end of it, they was like, well, the person who wanted to arrest him isn't in office no more, whatever. So they eventually. It said 15-year standoff come to an end, but it only ended because the dude that was the sheriff at the time got out the office. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I got a right to have guns on my property and on me. You can't tell me if I'm allowed to protect myself because I ain't got a piece of paper. Fuck y'all.
Well, I can tell you one thing from that story that I know for sure. He was definitely white.
Oh yeah, all day.
If he was black, Obama would have sent a drone in on it.
Right. If he was black, the Coast Guard would have came.
It would have been a parking lot the next day.
It wouldn't have been a conversation.
Check this out, and we see Waco.
We finna exterminate this nigga and end this shit before anybody even hear about it.
This is Can you say Philadelphia movement in 1985? Right. They air bombed the fucking major city. Listen,
yeah, they did.
Worst joke ever because you said Waco. And it made me flash back to when I was a junior in high school. I grew up in Milwaukee. I don't know if I've ever said that before on the show, but I remember when the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing popped off, right? And I was going to King, and I was kind of an asshole, right? So I was always very cynical. And then Waco happened, right? So like we were under this kind of. It was like, now that I think about it, it's like the first introduction of cancel culture, because all of a sudden people didn't want me to say certain things, but I had no filter, right? So I walk in the classroom, Waco happens. I walk in the classroom and I say, man, oh shit, was y'all watching the news? And everybody's like, no, what happened? I'm like, man, Jeffrey Dahmer broke out. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, he went to this big barbecue in Waco.
Wow.
Got my ass sent home. They sent me right home. You just go home. Just go home for the rest of the day. My teacher was like, no, you just going down to the office. They was like, all right, Mr. Barnes, we'll see you tomorrow. I was like, damn, right? Beginning of my career. Shout out to Erica Hunt. I just had to tell that story. Shout out to Erica Hunt. I see you, my sister. She said, what's up, Outlaws? How you doing? Share the show. You ain't sharing, you ain't caring. Let me see. Crystal Ship. Long time no hear from my sister. She said a pencil writes, but can be used as a weapon. Absolutely.
Right.
The people who carry a lot of pencils got a hold of L if somebody get murked with one. Yeah, I guess not since y'all put it like that. Sean Mo. What's good? What's happening with you, big bro? How you doing? Leon said that was Ruby Ridge. Okay, he was talking about what you was talking about.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying, man. Because like I say, man, I look around. Like I just look at my shit and I'd be like, damn, like this is really an instrument of death. But it's like one of my favorite things. But I understand how it can be misused. Like we have actually, to be honest, which we often are on Outlaw Radio, we have a problem in our community with gun violence. We have an epidemic of gun violence, and these shorties got the shit that I have, except I'm legal and I'm grown enough to have paid full price for all my shit. They got this shit on cheap, drums and shit. They got Dracos. They got, dude, when we was young, somebody might have had a 38 or a 45. These cats got Glocks with extendos that they be in the store with I'm like, the clip, you got to stand way behind him. Like, bro, your clip is violating the COVID code. Like, that's over 6 feet long and shit. So it's like, and they don't understand what, how to maintain them, how to operate them. The average cat, if you say, can you strip him? Can you break him down and clean him? They don't know how to do any of that. So, they don't know how to shoot them. Cars are the same way. You have to respect the automobile. I don't know what kind of TV show you've been watching, but you got to respect the automobile. You sitting in 2,000 pounds of metal or better.
Right.
You get that up to 70, 80 miles per hour, you can take some life, including your own, right? So I guess, do people who have fast cars, should we take the L when somebody steal one and go run through the light and kill somebody? And we're going to figure out who to blame on this show tonight, y'all. It's Outlaw Radio.
Individual.
Yes. Kamar said it's everybody goddamn fault. All y'all shut the fuck up. Erica said, I have mixed feelings about guns I carry to protect myself. You know what? I've never gotten into the rhythm of, even when I was in the streets, keeping a strap on me to protect myself. It was almost like I know where it's at and I can go get it if need be. I was never one to just constantly have it on me. People say, well, you were stupid. Maybe so. But I just, and even to this day, I don't feel the need to grip up every time I leave the house.
No.
If I'm going on a trip out of town, I'm known when we get ready to hit the road, I'll tuck something, right? I don't even tell my wife because I know she's gonna say, oh, we don't need it. Nah, it's there, right? It's there. But at the same time, I don't really just, because I've known cats who had it on them and still perished. I believe you got to live your life the right way. And people say, well, random shit happens. Well, if something random happens to you, it's Murphy's Law. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm just saying. I'm not, like, damn, if if my auntie had balls, she'd have been my uncle. It's not really a conversation we really, really, really going to have. Kobe said they got them switches. They actually do. These dudes make these Glocks fully. I don't know if people have shot a Glock before. Glock is like everybody's favorite gun word. Glock, Glock, Glock. It goes good in every rap. How many times has the word Glock been used in rap since 1993? You can't even, it's over 1 million easily. But have you ever shot a Glock? Do you understand the nuances of shooting a Glock? Do you even know what it is? Right? And if you don't really know what it is, like the history of it and why it was developed and this kind of thing, and what it's supposed to be versus what made it innovative. Now, I can tell you as a Glock shooter that not at people. I go to the range. My shit is all professional on board. You make that automatic, it's murder, death, kill. There's no way because it's so easy to aim. But that's one of the trademarks. It's very smooth. So if you put an automatic switch on that thing, aim it in one way and pull that trigger back, everybody falling. Because you can literally just spread it out evenly. So, but these youngsters have them, and they have drums. They have drums on Glocks with switches. A fully automatic Glock with 75 shots. Boy, that's some Iraqi shit. That's some Iraqi shit right there. Let me see. Sean said, no, it's not. You have to associate with the change of law. Associate this with the change of laws. Expand on that, Sean. Expand on that as we say, talk your shit. Kobe says the opioid epidemic made them heats essential. Okay. Game done changed, right? A little bit colder. I will say there's a lot more wolves out here than there used to be. There's a lot more real wolves out here because the stick-up kid robbery game, when I was coming up, it wasn't really a lifestyle you wanted to live. Right? It wasn't really popular. And
like the niggas die and go to jail. That's it.
Yeah. And of course there were some out here, but it always ended bad for them. Yeah. Now, that's kind of like a thing to do. They messed up when he made the song "I Ran Off on the Plug." That was the worst thing that ever happened pop culture wise, because we know what happens when you run off on the plug. Come on now, come on now, right? You get twisted. You said failure to change laws. I hear you, Sean Mo. That's what you hear. That's what you hear in Milwaukee on the late night. Sean Mo, what it do, family?
What it do? What it do? What it do? Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Yeah, man, we in here saucy as fuck on a Monday night. What's popping?
I don't know what you're talking for, man. You breathing.
I said saucy. Razzle dazzle, right? Savoir faire.
Well,
Sophisticated, right?
Okay, I got you, boy. But so I'm gonna use me for example, right? And I speak about this in my book. Now, a lot of these kids, man, that we talking about, this is a cause and effect. A lot of these kids suffer from disorders of trauma that we don't even think about, right? I suffer from hypervigilance, where anything that I perceive as a threat or I disliked, right? My reaction was defensive, right? I'm going to protect myself first. You ain't even got to react, but my reaction was from a disorder caused by trauma, and before you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. Right now, we look at the lives that a lot of these youngsters were brought up in. These kids have grown up in war zones. Right? Listen to her.
No, stop it.
You told me to talk my shit. Let me finish.
You right. I did, but that's come on, man. War zone.
Let me finish, man.
This ain't no war zone.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. Right? Okay. Now, you get a kid every day. They hearing about murders. They hearing on the news. They mamas and them. All these deaths, bro. We're our little urban areas are cemeteries. They cemeteries just waiting for the bodies to drop.
I want to make sure you're done.
We are under the same conditions that the people are under in these war zones.
No, we're not.
Let me tell you, the only difference between what's going on in Ukraine and what we facing, right? That's a country they trying to take over the country, right? They trying to annihilate. They're using us to annihilate us. We are at war with each other.
We're not.
Yes, we are, man.
We're not. Listen.
First of all,
let me make sure you're done.
The Kia Boys said last year.
Okay.
They said
the Kia Boys.
What did they say? Prepare for a bloody summer.
Yeah, that's nigga shit.
Didn't they declare war?
That's nigga shit. That ain't no declaration of war. No.
Why?
In war, look, in war, there's bombings. There's rockets. There's airplanes that drop bombs from up in the sky. There's tanks rolling through the streets. There's
what are these cars?
They're not tanks. They're not tanks with howitzers.
Torpedoes, though, right?
No.
They're torpedoes.
No,
they don't do the damage that torpedoes do.
No, absolutely not. Huh? No. Kia Boys don't sink boats.
Look at some of these accidents.
They don't sink ships, right? They go through an intersection and tear some shit up. They don't take out a 12-block radius like a rocket, a long-range ballistic missile does. This is not war. Listen, I'm tired of people giving these black kids excuses.
I didn't say physical. I said disorder. That's
not war, though. That's not war,
bro.
Not war.
If you look at it from a psychological effect, it's the same. It's the same as being at war in a war zone. When you have grown up around nothing but death, violence, decay, this fear,
It's not.
bro. They walking through filth, garbage,
Listen,
death every day.
listen.
Every day. I'm not saying that
I'm tired of people
they're
giving these
free
kids
from being.
excuses.
I'm not saying these are excuses. I'm saying
Lock them up.
we have to start when we lock them up, they don't get treated and then they get released.
Stop
and
fucking
they're
up.
10 times worse.
Don't fuck up. You won't get locked up. I listen. I'm telling all
What are we
kids
gonna
right
do?
now.
What are we gonna do when they come home? I'm not saying that they don't need to be treated. What I'm trying to get to is that they've been misdiagnosed. You said lock them
They
up.
ain't misdiagnosed.
Okay.
They're not
When we
misdiagnosed.
lock them, up, KB, then what we gonna do when they bring their ass home?
First of all,
and they off the medication.
First of all, we're already locking them up, right? And so,
And when
and
they come home, what happens?
that's been the norm for years. When they come home, either they get right or they get locked back up. Because one of the biggest issues in Milwaukee with incarceration is recidivism. It is recidivism, meaning they come home and fuck up again and they get locked back the fuck up, right?
Meaning
that
I'm saying,
they got locked up. I'm saying we give them. Do you think they can't hear us?
Treated.
Sean, do you think they can't hear us making these excuses for them? Listen, let me tell you something. A lot of these kids got it. They got it better than they even know they got. Because there's a lot of kids in Milwaukee who don't have all of that trauma and all of that. Oh, I grew up in filth and murder. They're making decisions. They are making conscious decisions. When you make grown people decisions, you get grown people consequences. I was young. Ain't nobody told me nothing. All right, well, go sit your ass down and figure it out.
You just said something, right? Now, looking at this, because I just had this conversation earlier. We look at this generation and the generation that they come from. Okay, this is, man. Listen, please read that book I sent you, man, because it discusses disorders and how it affects.
I didn't grow up here. I grew up here. I know the ins and I know
the. No.
Come on,
your circumstances were different, KB.
Listen,
you had parents.
Oh my God.
Even though using
a lot of these
kids,
all these kids, a lot of these kids have parents. You know how I know? Because I've worked with them. I worked in juvenile justice for years. I worked with adjudicated teenage felons. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of these boys had a mama and a daddy. A lot of them had a loving mama, a grandmother, uncles who came to me and said, bruh, I don't know what's wrong with this little dude. This is not how he was raised. Look, you can come to our house. I'll show. I done did family meetings where I'm like, dude, this is a nice neighborhood. This little dude is making decisions. He didn't come from slime. He didn't come from filth. He didn't come from Ukraine, right? He came off of the far west side in a nice home. His sister doing fine. His brother doing fine. Everybody around him doing fine, and that's what make the family so upset. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? You got it good. They are making decisions. I'm tired of us giving them excuses. See, this is what happened. The only thing that ain't being said is our kids, because it's so ingrained in us, this is how they taught us as slaves. The only way you teach a nigga something is you whoop his ass. Right? That's how you teach your niggers. You don't, the slave master say, boy, you better whoop their ass, them goddamn niggers. I bet you whip their ass with that whip, they'll get in line. Our parents said, the only way we're going to teach you something is whoop your ass. And you learn something from getting your ass whooped when you was growing up, whether cancel culture approves of it or not. You said I had different circumstances. I had just as much dysfunction as anybody on my block.
No, you didn't.
I guarantee you, you do not. You have no clue what you're talking about. You have,
bro.
Listen, have you ever? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen your mama chop a door down with a hatchet to get at your daddy?
Have you ever seen your mama face?
Okay.
Don't
tell me what I didn't encounter.
Have you ever seen your mama face looking like the Elephant Man from being stumped by her pimp, and you couldn't tell nobody?
I seen my mother. Let me answer the question. I seen my mother get pummeled by my mentally ill cousin who was on a rager and kicked the glass out in our front door and came in and beat my mother like she stole something. My brother and I were standing right there. Once again, you don't know. Don't assume because it was two parents that everything was gravy. You don't know. I seen my mama get a pot of chitlins blew up in her face and taken to the hospital with 3rd-degree burns. A pressure cooker My mother whooped our neighbor's ass with a belt when I was 3. We got sued for 15 years straight. My mother took a butcher knife to fill up school and chase Mr. Valentine's favorite teacher, Miss Neighbors, down the hallway with a survivor knife.
God
You
damn.
know, bro. You don't know what I've been through. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've seen it all. I got dope fiend uncles, dope fiend cousins that's killed. You know my family. So okay. So when you say
but
you had 2
KB,
parents,
no,
so what?
No, KB, listen. And what I'm telling you, you have
We lost him.
okay.
Okay.
Listen to me, bro. Your parents gave a fuck about you, right? Their priority was still making sure KB fucking succeeded, right? You get parents now. This little motherfucker ain't nothing but a check. I don't give a fuck what happened to him, right? I was that little motherfucker. Motherfucker came. My mama had me in prison. Her pimp made her come and get me from her mama for the fucking check, nigga. Right?
All right.
Now check this out.
Okay, go ahead. I want to let you finish because I want to put. But check this out, though.
I'm just
Sean, you know what? You know what, though?
KB.
What happened because of all that? You fucked up and you went to prison and you got in there and you got your mind right. And that's why you work in the community now. Because you realized you was making decisions that affected the community negatively, and you stopped making those decisions. Just like you was making those decisions then.
I didn't fully understand it, KB, until after all this, until after my grandmother died, right? It took that right there to make me realize, right? And really start thinking about my life, man, and what I had done. But I had people along the way that took time out, that cared about me, man, that instilled that empathy, right? Instilled that love.
And yet you ignored it and still fucked up and had to go to prison. That's all I'm saying. You was making decisions because you had people, you said it. You just said it. You had people who loved you.
In prison, I had people that was telling, man, sit your motherfucking ass down. You going to school. You going to class. Bro.
I'm just saying, Sean. I'm just saying.
Environments and circumstances, man.
That's an excuse. That's an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
It's an excuse. Erica Hunt said it is, and I learned that in therapy. PTSD awareness. Let me catch my chat room up, brother Sean.
Okay.
Erica Hunt said, but there's no rehabilitation in jail. Who cares? You shouldn't go. Listen, let me tell you something. Cry me a river about how prisoners get treated. I don't give a shit how they get treated. I don't.
And that's the problem. That's the problem because we want to lock them up, but we don't think about what's going to happen when they come back home, KB.
I just told you what's going to happen. Because
no, KB, without some type of rehabilitation. Come on, KB.
Now you ignoring the ghetto witch doctor. You are ignoring the ghetto witch doctor. Hold on. He went away when he was young, more than once. Mm-hmm. And now this is his. I'm gonna tell his story for him, but he done told me. I fucked up when I was young. I went to Wales. I came home. I fucked up when I became a grown man. They sent me to the penitentiary. When I came home this time, I was selling sea moss, and I became a holistic healer. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is, even he will tell you, I knew better because I had a great mama. There's a lot of people who love me, community support. I was making decisions, consciously making decisions, and every time I fucked up, they fucked me up. And then I figured out, let me stop fucking up so I won't get put back in there. So guess what? He came home. He didn't reoffend. He's out here now. Had he to come home, he would have went back. That is called recidivism. So I know plenty of my partners got felonies who done a ticket. I was just talking to my cousin the other night who did 15 straight. He ain't been back because when he came home, he said, I ain't giving him no more of my time because I'm going to move differently now. I'm going to make different decisions. So I don't want to give anybody no excuse. It's time to straighten up. They say shit or get off the pot. Kamar, I didn't mean to jump in on your story, man, but you know, it's always inspirational for me, brother.
It's all good. Hey, let me come. I want to comment.
Let me ask you a question. Kamar.
Hold on. He was finna say something. I gotta let him get it out.
I can't hear.
Go ahead, Kamar.
Okay, I feel like in both situations, decisions is everything, right? With the child that's got parents in the house, to the child that's got one parent in the house, to the child that's may be unfortunate enough to just come up and parents ain't around. They, you know what I mean? It's all fucked up for them, right? At some point in our life, you know what I mean, you start hearing what to do, what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? It takes some of us to bump our head a few times. But even still, though we bumping our heads, we still making decisions to, you know what I mean, bump our heads. Like to do shit, let's do it. Like every time I went to jail, I never went back for the same thing.
Me either.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to figure something else out. I'm going to try something else. You know what I mean? Until I got to the point, like, you know what? Fuck all that shit. Because I'm steady making decisions to do something different that's going to, you know what I mean, have me back in the same place. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's unfortunate for some of the youth because they never get to that point.
Right.
Where they understand it, I mean.
Dion says it's a strategy to war. Go ahead, Sean.
For me, it was the death of Marvin's son. I mean, seeing the impact on his friends, and one of his friends being my son, who they was raised together up until they was 2 when I went to the joint. And it was that moment. I said, hold on, man, shit. What the fuck have I been doing this for?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the way I was raised, listen, man, you play the game until the game is over. You know what I mean? I grew up hustling, and I was gonna hustle till I died hustling.
Jesus said, "Trap or die."
Jesus said that. Jesus said that. What? Who? Oh, Jesus. I thought you said Jesus said that. I was gonna say, damn, Jesus said that.
Stupid. But for real, man, you know,
hey,
man, you know,
he tell him, he's sending his son to college though.
Right, already done graduated. Look, Erica Hunt says there's a percentage of young people who do come from good homes, but I believe they're trying to fit in with their peers. They're making decisions.
They are.
Shout out to Crystal Ship. She said at the end of the day, it isn't about a contest on who had the roughest childhood or who experienced the most trauma. It's about trying to figure out how collectively we can eradicate some of these issues and problems. Yes, that's the big goal. That's the one.
And
that's the one. I'm gonna tell you why I referenced that. I referenced that. Hold on. I referenced what happened because what I'm saying is trauma is trauma. As a kid, I don't care if I'm not saying mine was no rougher than anybody else, but he said you had 2 parents who cared about you. My point is, even in that scenario, there's still a lot of trauma.
Point, KB.
I'm talking to Crystal Ship.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to Crystal Ship. Because she said it's not about a competition, and God knows I didn't want it to be that. And I'm not trying to say, okay, if you seen your mama pimp beat your mama down or whatever, yeah, you fucked up behind it. But I'm saying some shit happened in my life where I was fucked up behind it too, but I didn't go out there and go on a fucking rampage. I still had to live with order.
But KB, because of the trauma I had endured previously to that, seeing my mother in that condition, my reaction was different from yours. You know, my thought was do something to him. I was going to do something to him. I had reached a point in my life, man, where I used my trauma as anger to fight back, to protect myself.
Right. Totally get it.
I mean, yeah, and what I'm saying is trauma affects each individual
differently. But it's all the same when you go to court. They don't consider that. They give us all the same sentences.
I know. They give us all the same sentences.
So stop taking your ass to court.
But what I'm KB.
Stop fucking up. Like I get tired of brothers talking about, man, you know, they don't do you right in that courtroom. Stop going to the courtroom then. Boycott the prison. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying,
I'm saying is,
I'm tired of black people's excuses. I'm tired of our excuses. I'm tired of black people making up excuses.
Our people being, you know, they go to jail, they get back out, and they're still a problem. And then we want to cancel them, right? Lock their ass back up instead of saying, hold on, they done went to jail and we want to and they came out worse. What the fuck is going on? Lock their ass. Ain't no treatment. Ain't no they done went to jail and they came out worse.
I fucked that up. My bad, y'all. I was trying to check the YouTube feed. I forgot I can't do that. I'm sorry. Sean hit his back. Listen. I'm tired. Stop it. Stop going to jail. Stop it. There's nobody can say they don't know what's about to happen. Turn on the TV. I just seen a story about some Kia boys who was on a police chase and ran into a pole and killed themselves. You know what I'm finna do? I'm finna go steal a Kia. That shit don't make no sense. Erica said that's different from witnessing a pimp beating mama 2-3 times a week and her continuing to take him back. The worst part of PTSD is where we have normalized major triggers or events that cause PTSD. I wish black people never heard of PTSD. I wish we never, because we will hear some shit and ride that shit till like it's the Kentucky Derby. Mama Jenkins, shout out to Mama Jenkins. She said, good evening, my outlaw family. They got some serious guns out here. These young fellows don't give a shit about life. She said, if I've been robbed at gunpoint, believe me, it was nothing nice. If that young man had to pull that trigger, I wouldn't be here to talk about it today. I think you better have your shit loaded and ready to go. These young thugs don't give a damn about your life or theirs. I don't want to hurt or shoot no one child. These bastards are dangerous. She said, I would rather she was trying to finish. I only get so many characters on this chat, Mama Jenkins. Erica Hunt said, but excuse me, I'm talking about PTSD. I don't excuse your poor behavior. I know, Erica Hunt. Shout out to you. I'm being an asshole tonight. You got to forgive me. I woke up on the wrong side of the coffin, right? Being an asshole. Sometimes I just be on one, right? This is why I ain't got no friends. Kamar, the only person who still speak to me, right? I'm just saying. She said, I wholeheartedly believe in not giving the police a reason to be in your business. That's all I'm saying. We keep complaining about what they do to us in court or jail instead of saying, let's just not go there. It's like somebody telling you about a restaurant like they serve rat over there. Every time you go there, they serve you a rat. You know what you do? Don't go to the goddamn restaurant and you won't get served rat. I don't understand why we can't figure this shit out. She said flip phone issues early in the show. You know it had to happen. That was my fault too. Sean Moore said, I'm not talking about these violent killers. I'm talking about disorders that can be treated. Well, obviously the treatment ain't working. She said, I see. She was like, you are being an ass tonight, Kevin. You are being an asshole tonight. Dion said, I hate when I see motherfuckers talking about free such and such. What the fuck such and such do to get locked up?
Straight up, man.
Fuck your shit, Dion. That's what I'm talking about, man. Free little Meek Meek. Little Meek Meek shot 5 people. What you talking about?
Little Meek Meek locked up. Terrorists in the community.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man. These kids it's crutches for them. I ain't had no daddy. I ain't had no mama. I ain't had nobody tell me nothing. So you just thought just robbing people and shooting people was cool. Any motherfucker know that's not, unless you got mental health issues. And I'm talking about real shit. I'm not talking about IEP shit. Oh, I'm hyperactive. I got ADHD. So you shot 7 people because you ADHD? Get the fuck out of here, man. Lock his ass up. Sorry. Lock him up. Sean Moore says, I was fortunate enough to turn PTSD into positive traumatic growth. There you go, my brother. It's always a silver lining. I told you when you down and out of depression, you got to look up. Yes, it is. He's a living testament. That's what I'm saying.
That book gonna change lives, man. That book.
Kamar is a living testament. Sean is a living testament. I'm blessed enough to know individuals. I just got the phone with one of my cousins last night who did a stretch. And he said, man, I would be willing to, and he don't even work with kids, but he said, I would be willing to go in front of these young dudes and tell them. And this is a dude who did a 25, 35 year stint in the dope game, right? Say, I would go tell them that's bullshit. They need to get off of that and get their heads, because eventually you're going to have to get your mind right. And they'll sit your ass down in the penitentiaries and lose you until you do so. So he's like, he said, because, I know this man and had diamonds, jewelry, cars, girls in Vegas for the Tyson fight and in Atlanta for Freaknik and all of this shit. What he love to do right now is get up and go to work in the morning. Say, man, the same way I hustle the streets, I hustle my job right now. Right. And that's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, Real. I cut you off. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, I was just saying, but some like with my friends, I try to help them. You know, if they is out here, I try to figure out a way they could flip that to be legal, like with me, you know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I didn't have any felonies or anything like that, so I was able to apply for my hemp processor's license, which at that time CBD was cracking like Reggie. So, you know, I was actually having a license to trap type shit, you know, or just, you know, finding ways to flip it and finesse it, you know. But anybody who lived on the other side of the crack, I mean, I understand you got to do what you got to do to feed yourself. I just hope that they find a way out before, you know, it catch up with them.
That's supposed to be, that's the plan. That's the way the original plan is supposed to be anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, but that fast money.
Yeah, I know.
Fast money could be addictive.
Real. I know, nigga. I went
right.
Because I didn't know to get my ass up out of here. You know what I get it.
I got.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? The original plan is to get in, get what you got to get, so you could do something different.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? You become more. You become more of a hype than the hypes. You know
that used to be the plan, man. But it seemed like now these younger generations are getting in it just to floss. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not getting in to run up a bag and do something legit. They getting in just to have flashy cars and
for the clout.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not used to that mentality because all the people I knew was hustlers that were businessmen. Like even after they sat down, they came out with money put aside to be able to do legit shit once they got out, you know. So I'm not familiar with that other mindset, but even with them, I hope they get a clue before it's too late.
Yeah, if you don't, they're gonna straighten you out, right? I'm just being honest. Look, you can sit around all day talking about what you didn't have, and I'm so traumatized. And they're gonna say, "All right, well, we got a place for people who traumatized." That shit called off and they'll put your ass in there for a long time. Let me get Sean back on the jack because TR shouldn't already talking about I had a flip phone. Oh, this ain't Sean. Who's on the jack?
Man, this is Erica Hunt from the comments. How y'all doing tonight, Outlaw?
How you doing, my sister? Happy Women's Month. Is it over?
Thank you.
No, it's still.
We still got a few seconds.
Oh, okay. Happy Women's Month. What's popping?
Hey, man, I definitely believe like you believe, Kevin. You know, men was given free will, and the decisions that you make are really solely based on you, and you should be held accountable for your decisions. So I'm all for that. But I also fear where Sean is coming from. We got to realize there's a lot of crackheads out here raising their kids still.
Okay.
And these kids not getting the basic necessities that help develop the good brain like you may have. Because we all know the structure of a two-parent household gives you all of that stability that helps you feel safe and secure in your life.
Right.
So we got a bunch of kids who are growing up, and I'm going to say this 100. I've seen the home situation. The home is not clean. The home is not taken care of because their parents are too focused on getting their next eye. To the point where I've seen generations of children my age, and they all do consciously make the decision to continue to indulge in that game. But then it only takes one time to really fuck up your life.
That's right.
For instance, I know a girl who had 4 kids and stole a lot. But she stole Pampers, she stole kids' clothes, she stole kids' sister and she could not go and get a job after her first case of stealing.
Okay.
But she still had 4 kids to take care of. Now, I'm a union organizer. So I love to speak about the livelihood that what people is actually making in our communities. And just until January 1st, a good 900 security guards were making less than $15 an hour.
Okay.
Now, this is a security guard position. So these people are working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of their family. So that's how come you get the knucklehead child out the 2-parent household who's like, fuck it, I'm just going to get my attention how I want to get my attention.
Okay.
So
once again, I think the thing with kids is if we make this a norm to say to them, guess what? The reality of it is nobody gives a shit about your excuses. They're going to lock you up or you're going to get killed. So
That's
we
right.
start making that more of the norm, just like how we keep telling them, well, you ain't got nobody and you come from this dysfunctional community and
That's
all
giving them excuses.
But
right.
that's the normal though, Kevin. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it
If
is.
I'm
Unfortunately,
1, 2, 3 years old and
that's
this
the
is what I've
norm. That's
grown
the
up
norm.
in,
But you got to
this
change
is
the
their
mindset.
normal to them. So it's
You
the
got to
things
change that
that you
normal
say don't
mindset.
do. Yeah, but until you get that life altering event or that life altering conversation with that individual who got a little bit more or understand, and it may not, that individual that may have given you your message, life may have been fucked up, but they were a willing participant of the Holy Spirit to give you that message you needed to receive.
Right.
Until you get to that point in life.
But what I'm saying is, my
Somebody
sister, what
got
I'm
to give
saying
them
is,
that.
if we make it a norm across the board as adults right now, even when they're young, to start telling them, in particular, young black males, when they're very young, listen, yeah, you come from some unfortunate circumstances. Yes, there's some pain in your life, but guess what? It's like that for everybody. And you will be held accountable for all the decisions you make. If we consistently said that to them, and some of us wasn't parlaying on the sideline talking about, yeah, but your neighborhood is dirty. No, if we all said it don't matter where your ass grow up at, because when you get in court, that judge don't give a shit unless he's like that judge in Milwaukee who said, I feel sorry for you because Milwaukee is a sewer, right? And you came up in this tore-up community, but guess what? He still gave him 25 years. He still
Right.
gave him 25 years.
Right.
He didn't say,
I definitely,
I'm only going to give you
I'm a
5
big
because your house is
supporter
dirty.
in that. Matter of fact, I'm raising my kids, but then I was an auntie young, so I kept telling my nephews, like, I seen shit that was happening. I told them, don't get a police, don't give the police a reason to be in your business. Whatever you do, don't give the police a reason to be in your business because that shit is dangerous and deadly, first off. And it's gonna fuck up your life for the rest of your life. Like, I totally agree with you. I'm gonna stand on that. And I have been that individual in the room that says, yes, behavior is fucking learned, but you still got the ultimate decision to choose on what type of behavior you gonna display.
Right.
I done been in that room where I'm the only motherfucker screaming at.
That's what's up. Kamar, you had
You
something
know
you
what I'm
wanted to
saying?
add?
No, I was just finna say, I was finna, add on to that because I was agreeing with it. You know what I mean? It's accountability first. You know what I mean? We got to let kids know, like, no matter what, you know what I mean? You got to deal with the results of your decision.
That's right.
So, you know what I mean? So, like, this is like the starting point right now. Telling them, look, man, it's all about accountability. We don't nobody give a fuck. When you go get this job, that employer don't give a fuck when you sit down for that thing, where you come from. He want to know where you at right now. You know what I mean? It's time to start focusing on how to make ourselves better from this point on. That's it.
That's
you know
all
what I mean?
saying.
And making the right decisions. You know what I mean?
And I totally agree with that.
If I don't look, and you know, I got a little homie who I'll be working with and be dealing with, right? And he used to wear his hair, you know what I mean, nappy as a motherfucker on top of his head, pants hanging down his ass and shit, and you know what I mean? Like, dog, you look like a kid boy. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if something happens somewhere and you a suspect, nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you chose to look like this, you chose to look like the same one, you chose to look like the same people in the streets who ain't doing shit else. You're gonna get treated the same way just because of that decision.
That's right.
You could be a scholar, but if you look like that, you're gonna get treated like that.
Don't get treated like that.
You know what I mean? No matter what, don't nobody care. It's about you making the right decision.
That's another thing I tell young black people, because it's not only just the young men, it's young girls. Young girls is actually a little more dangerous than these young men right now.
Yeah, we see that. We see that.
The
brat finna have a boy. That's how dangerous. I'm sorry, Pat.
Dog, why you say that, man?
It's my fault. Congratulations to the brat and her wife, husband, wife. I don't know what that's.
Husband.
Right. Right. It was. Let me catch the chat room. Erica Hunt is on the line. So she said behavior is learned. We've all heard stories of children's life being programmed to see drugs, kill, and steal for the love of money. Absolutely. Dion said these new niggas ain't no hustlers. They want to be killers. Mama Jenkins, she said, I was in the courthouse last week and it's a disgrace and so sad what's going on down there. These young men got some real issues. I watched these young men looking hopeless. and I really don't think they educated enough to read a complaint. They don't understand life, and most of them don't need a timeout to think about the shit. And most of them need a timeout to think about the shit that they do, which means lock their ass up. Shout out to Mama Jenkins. Sean Moe, he said, and we saying that we are against slavery anyway in our community. People that return to the community are often given up on, and the choices are due to the circumstances which are out of their control. Listen, if you go to jail for double homicide and you come home and you move next door to me, I'm concerned. I ain't gonna say, well, he did his time, he all right. No, I'm gonna say, watch that motherfucker.
How you gonna find out?
Well, because you can see cap. You can see cap somebody. They might tell you, man, I just come home from the joint. Oh, yeah, what's your last name? Oh, Raynard Washington, huh? He capped the shit out your ass. This dude got a double homie. Now, what I'm gonna say is, yeah, he cool, but I'm watching his ass. I'm gonna make sure y'all lock that door. You know, that nigga, hey, it is what it is. You did 2 murders. You don't get to just walk off from that because you went and did some years. And I'm not saying all crimes are murder, obviously. I'm just saying you are what you do.
Hey,
you are what you eat. Right?
People ain't gonna give you nothing. You know what I mean? And that's something else that we always preach about too. Like, you know, we got to work on it ourselves again. Yeah, you break back to us, right back on us. Is accountability and spirituality, nigga. That's what everything is about.
You know, black people got trigger words. We like trigger words. We'll throw slavery on some shit quick. You know, a motherfucker told me one time I was a slave when I played college football. You was a slave. White people were controlling you. They're giving you a little money. You was out there running around like a monkey. I'm like, I was having the time of my life. That shit was not slavery. Oh, you still old. It wasn't slavery. We say we allude to a lot of things that are, we say they're slavery because it's a trigger. It makes other people say, yeah, you know what? That is slavery. We is some slave shit. It's like we say war zone. There's a big difference between the north side of Milwaukee and goddamn Iraq, where you got fundamental Muslims fighting the government for 30 years, where kids are used to terrorists blowing up restaurants and cafes in Israel. They fighting with the Palestinians. Those kids are traumatized. Those are the kids who say,
it sounds like a war zone outside my house all the day.
I think most people don't understand what war is. This city ain't no war zone. This ain't even the worst city in this country.
Well, Milwaukee, I don't know about the whole city.
Milwaukee is not the worst city in the country.
When I say, I promise you, this little nigga come out here and stand on this corner and shoot his piece every night for fun.
Type shit, right?
For fun,
right? Making decisions.
Because you don't never hear no return fire. You just hear pow, 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 pow. Like, nigga, what is you doing?
And you telling me he don't know no better? He doing that because he traumatized?
He doing that for
some
status.
Bullshit, right?
No, to them, he can pay for more bullets. I could show you how quickly I could waste this money, but then how quickly I get it back. It's really about competition out here.
I think you know what I think. I think he really scared. I think he really scary, and he want people to know he got a gun.
Oh, ouch! Right.
Well, see, I ain't a black man, so I don't know how a black man think.
He said he gonna be sitting between somebody's legs, getting his hair braided in 5 years. Right. Jay, shout out to Jay who's watching on YouTube. He said a lot of people that live in the hood go to jail or prison on lies more often than you know, especially 20 years ago. The police back then will juke your ass right into prison. Listen, I'm not. First of all, there's no way I would ever discount that our justice system doesn't have serious flaws. We've discussed on here a lot of times that there's a disproportionate conviction rate for black defendants versus their white counterparts for the same crimes. We know this. We know that happens, right? But I'm saying to you, I know a lot of brothers and a lot of neighborhoods and a lot of situations where the individuals involved ain't getting lied on. They did this shit. You did it. That was you doing 95 down Capitol, right? Swerving through traffic with a donut on your car with some guns in the trunk, right? That was you. Yeah, that was me. That ain't no lie. Go sit your ass down. Now for the dude who didn't do it, wrongfully convicted for fixing the disproportionate conviction rates, I'm totally with that. But I'm just saying, where smoke is fire. And right now in my city, it's a lot of people. And you notice a lot of our youngsters, when they said the police said we will no longer chase suspects. See, we had this thing here called mobile drug houses, right? I just want to break this down. Mm-hmm. When I was young, you had a dope house, right? And we knew where the spot was in the hood. Dope dealers set up spots. They'd have several of them in different areas, and that's how they got rich, right? But what Milwaukee police started doing is right away kicking the dough in. We run up in the dope house. We raid the dope house. That's how it's a dope house over there. Ain't gonna be long before they kick the dough in. Cat said, you know what? I'm not gonna be sitting still in no house no more with a bunch of dope. They can't chase us. So you know what we'll do? We'll just sell out of cars. When they get behind us, we pull off. That shit went way up. That offense went way up. The high-speed chases went way up because youngsters started saying, this is the way. This is how we do it. So they made decisions. It's a conscious decision when the police get behind you to say, shit, I'm about to smash, cuz. That's a decision. That's not, oh my God, the stress is killing me. Now I'm traumatized again. I'm triggered. Let me take off. No. So I'm not discounting the fact that people have been locked up, unjustifiably. I'm not breezing over that. I'm just saying a lot of these cats are making decisions and they need to pay for them. I got kids in this community. If there's a threat to my child's safety, I don't want you on the streets. I'm sorry, man, that your mama pimp kicked her in the ass when you was 5, and that's what you seen. That ain't no excuse to fuck with little Kev or Taylor. And if you do something to him, I will have no mercy on you. I say, get that son bitch the death penalty. I don't care how old he is.
Okay, but Kev, this is what I gotta ask. This is my question, right?
Okay.
Now I know you don't like the term narcissistic. Okay, I know you don't like that. But
she been watching, right? She been listening.
Medically, narcissistic is it now a condition in 2023? Okay, and they're saying that narcissistic behavior can stem from having those traumatizing events happen to you at a young age, especially when you've been exposed to traumatizing events for a long term or a long period of time.
Right.
And it causes the brain cells to have empathy and remorse to kind of like die off because they don't never get that brain cell stimulated again because there's so much trauma that it causes these people to grow up and consciously say, I'm going to do wrong, I'm going to teach wrong, and I'm going to prevail from wrong. Because we got them motherfuckers out here who coaching this bullshit. And but what's your input? Do you believe that these traumatizing events are helping create these narcissistic people, even if it's like sexual abuse or physical abuse or just long exposure to gang violence and whatnot?
I totally believe that traumatic events and trauma affect the brain in a negative way that affects cognitive functions. I totally agree with that. I totally do. And I understand that there are people who grow up and they go through shit and it fucks their mind up for a long time. But what I'm telling you is, and what I would tell anybody is, none of that matters when you fuck up. You are going to be judged by the same laws that a motherfucker who ain't been through nothing, and that ain't nobody, because it ain't nobody who ain't not been through something, right? You're still going to prison. You're still gonna be a victim. You're still gonna go and get a system all of your time. So what I'm saying is, we need to tell them early. Yes, there's empathy for you growing up in these situations, youngster. Yeah, we understand, but we're here to tell you, you got to get your shit together, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna give a fuck. Nobody's gonna care. You might have the saddest story in the world, right? And we've seen this play out a million times where a youngster commits a crime and they write an article in the Journal Sentinel and says, this kid led a hard life, right? And they give you the whole rundown. He was put in foster care when he was young. His dad was murdered. His mother was a drug addict, whatever. He did this offense. And almost 9 times out of 10, the kid when they talk to him, when he get out of jail, he say, I was young and I was making bad decisions and I was around the wrong people. It's on me. I did these things, so I had to pay for them. Now, I'm not taking away that trauma happens and people are affected by it, but I'm saying that's not an excuse for you to run ape shit on everybody else in the community. You can't fuck my neighborhood up because you had a rough life. If you do, if you have issues like that, you know what you really need? You know what you really need if you traumatize that bad? You need to go somewhere and sit down and have some time to yourself. And it's called prison. It's called being in the hole. It's called being in the
Going to
hole.
the hole, going to the hole only increases the delusions that they have.
Yeah,
That they
unfortunately.
not harming no one. But mind you, I'm talking about willing motherfuckers who say, I don't care who I hurt. I don't care how many victims I leave behind. I don't care who I scar. You get what I'm saying? Like, we got a lot of them people out here running around, and they damn near creating monsters themselves.
And we always had them. There's always been predators in the community. I grew up in the crack epidemic. There's always
Mm-hmm.
been this whole just murder, death, kill. I'm telling you, I've seen it. Sean said when you're in certain prisons, he was down south in prison, so it's different. Mama Jenkins said you must live by her near 42nd Street because every night this person shoot his gun, and every night Mama Jenkins says she called the police. Right?
Me too.
Tiasha
They
said
don't do. They don't even come no more. They used to come. They don't even come no more.
they got Shot Spotter. They got the Shot Spotter computer. They know where the gunshots are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't come.
But
Like
I
we
can't
knew
sleep
they
in
shot
peace.
before she called, right? They already knew.
Me or Mama Jenkins can sleep in peace.
Right. And that individual who's doing that, you know what needs to happen? You need to get his ass locked up. And then when you
I
go
think
in
he
there,
need his ass beat.
maybe he
He
needs his
can't
ass
fight.
beat too, right? Tiarsha says Milwaukee is bad, but Baltimore, Detroit, and Chicago are super bad. There are more cities that are also super worse than Milwaukee. Well, he said it's a war zone. This is Ukraine. Atkinson is like Iraq. It's Beirut. No, it's not. It's rough on Atkinson, trust me, but it ain't no war zone. A war zone is a totally different thing. I hate when we use these words. We don't think about context. Oh, it's a slave situation. Somebody told me one time I was a slave because I go to work every day. Like, well, boss, I guess I was a slave then because I got kids to take care of.
Right.
Sean Moore said I went to jail and wasn't proven innocent for 37 years, and that came out on Facebook. But the crime I went to jail for determined the choices I had. You know what? That's unfortunate, but I think you might have to look at the situations and the circumstances you was involved with that built up to it. Usually when you get arrested, that wasn't your first day. The first day I sold crack, I got arrested. That wasn't was the problem. It was like it was what you was doing. It was a build up to it. Like you got a little, you got in the game, you got to moving. Shout out to anybody who went to jail for the first time they ever had some crack too. He said I found out 2 years ago who did it, and Sean said Erica sound like she been reading some of his book. I don't know. Have you sent her the book, Sean? I don't know. Sean got a whole book.
Actually, I haven't, but I'm from Milwaukee.
We all understand it. We all understand it. He said I learned to hate the police after seeing them on my grandmother. I learned to hate the police after seeing him on my grandmother. That oppositional defiant disorder made me look at police no matter the police good or bad. I hated them. So did them giving out baseball cards and then me seeing them whoop somebody ass like 2 weeks later. I don't know if y'all remember when the police gave out baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
My firsthand experience with police coming to my home growing up to deal with DV situations and the way they talked to my father, the way they even spoke to my mother. I looked at them and said, I can't stand them motherfuckers, right? The whole thing with us, if you ride your bike to Shorewood, the Shorewood police will take your bike and put it in the trunk and bring your ass right back down Capitol. Right? I seen a lot of things that made me not like police growing up. Like, man, them motherfuckers ain't on our side. So yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, and I don't. Maybe I have that disorder too. I don't know. But I want to kind of switch up a little bit because people are listening, and we try to cover as much ground as we can. Anybody see I can never say her name. Iyanla Vanzant. That's her name, right?
On the
Like,
Breakfast Club?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. She said that the women nowadays are masculine. They're dudes in a skirt, she said. She said she said women have been stripped of their femininity because of this culture that's been created. This kind of these cultural norms where she said that women have been taught that to be a woman and to be feminine is wrong, right? So you got a bunch of women who act like men. And she said women are trying to compete in men's sports. They're trying to do everything a man does. We've lost sight of what femininity is. And this is a problem in the Black community. I always blamed it on white feminists, kind of jumping in and becoming welfare social workers, saying you can't have your man in the house if you want this check. But when I look at it, I say, you know what? That is kind of true. Because there's no such thing as a man's space anymore. Because some woman is going to want to say, I could do that too. I want to do that too. And it's like, where should that stop at? So did y'all see this, bro? What did you think about what she said?
Man, shit. I understand it. I look at it differently, but I mean it is merit to what she's saying. I mean, we can see that shit all on our Facebook timeline. But as for the cause, I believe that it's systemic and it's just I believe that men I believe that since there's so
Uh-oh.
few
Is he
positive
stuttering or is okay, go ahead.
examples of masculine energy, both women and male children have learned to fear masculinity. So it shows itself in boys and men being threatened by other men, and then it shows itself in women who would rather take on the persona of a man than to deal with a man. So I believe it is true what she's saying. I just believe that this is just further example of shit being weaponized against us.
Okay, so Sean said I justified them locking him up for bullshit. Actually, Sean, I was saying I understand that there's miscarriages of justice. I totally understand that. But I'm saying more often than not, it's not that situation. Now, unfair representation, yeah, because you got a public defender and they say the state of Wisconsin versus your ass. You ain't got a chance. You finna go against the whole state. But I'm just saying, a lot of times, if we are told early on about the importance of being accountable for the decisions that we make, and everybody's on the same page, nobody's enabling you. Everybody's saying, "Little dog, you keep fucking up, man." And then nobody's gonna care, as opposed to this, "Oh, woe is me, poor Negro." Mama Jenkins said she watched the game last night and she said the same damn thing. I mean, what's the significance of a woman saying, as a female, I want to be able to referee men's games. Okay. I want to be a reporter and I should be able to go in a men's locker room full of athletes while they ass naked and interview them. And if one of them turn around and say, "Look, I'm assaulted, I'm harassed," I'm kind of inclined to say you shouldn't have been in there in the first place. I'm just saying, like, okay.
But what about the gay player in there who feel like she's harassing just because her presence is in there? Like the straight man not gonna give a fuck she in there. But that gay man gonna feel some type of way about getting undressed in front of her because he's gay and we supposed to respect his opinion.
I don't know nothing about no gay dude. I don't know how he would feel in the locker room. I can't even speak to that perspective.
Okay, Kevin.
I'm just saying, because even as a straight man, if a woman is walking around like it's all good and we in here changing clothes, I'm gonna be like, "Say, man, hey man, can y'all keep her over there?" Not because I'm feeling like, insecure or nothing, but just because she's not supposed to be here. It would be inappropriate for me as a man to walk in a girl's locker room interviewing women while they're changing clothes. There's wrong and there's right. I could say I'm a reporter though. It's gonna be some women in there like, "I don't care. I don't want you up in here while I'm changing clothes." So it's things like that where I say, okay, well, okay, so let me get this. It's like women's basketball. I'm like, I laugh at the WNBA, right? Like, and yeah, I'm gonna go out on the limb and say it. I laugh at the WNBA, and I'm gonna tell you why, because nobody wants to see it. I mean, they got their fans, but then they say, "Well, why we don't make as much money as the NBA players?" Well, because you don't generate as much money, because nobody wants to see it, right? I'm saying what most people are thinking. Like, when the last time you seen somebody walk around with a WNBA team jersey on? Or, "Dog, I got them new Lisa Leslie's," right? Like, I mean, it's a whole. I'm just saying. And look, if you a woman basketball player, more power to you, and you deserve the right to be able to play. I'm just saying you have to understand why the WNBA is not as big as the NBA. It's like women's boxing. Why do women say, "I want to box"? And I'll be like, "Whoa." It's hard for me to even watch women boxing.
I used to watch women boxing, and I watch women MMA. It's honestly, it seems like they fight harder.
I don't want to see women getting battered, bloody, like hitting each other in the mouth. Like, for me, I just don't want to see that. I'm like, oh no.
Well, that's because you see women from a dainty perspective. You love on women for their femininity. You know what I'm saying? But my perspective, honestly, is that, and I learned this once I started learning the development of my firstborn child, when I wanted to understand what he was going through and how come I had to wait until 5 months to find out his gender. So I asked the doctor, well, why is that? And they was like, well, the female and male hormones don't really start. Well, the male hormone doesn't start really kicking in until after like 20 weeks.
The
And that's
genitalia.
when the
Right.
body, yeah, and that's when the body starts to develop on if it's a male or female. Scientifically, they say that you really have a coochie before you get nut. I ain't gonna lie, okay?
That's what they say.
Um,
That's what they say.
that's what they say, right? So
Exo
I feel like
chromosomes.
right, but on a spiritual level, I feel like everybody can embody the feminine and masculine energy. And then science says everybody does until your body decides on if it wants to be a man or woman.
Your body don't decide though. Your DNA, your chromosomes decide.
I
Same
think
thing, because it's all within
everybody
your
has
body.
both. You know what
Go
I mean?
ahead.
Because
Go ahead,
you talking about. I think everybody has both. You talking about energy, right? You got a nurturing
Right.
energy. You get a nurturer. Nurturing energy is
Right.
people will consider a feminine energy, but men have a nurturing energy also. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So there are different energies, like feminine energies that men can have. But the thing is other energies that stand out more about us.
Okay.
It's the energy that you have to embody, honestly. And mind you, I'm a female that people tell me I'm too masculine. I'm too masculine. You see what I'm saying? So I hear that a lot. But they also adore me for my feminine energy too. And then I have to be like, okay, well, what situation was I in? What type of territory was I in that I can either embrace my feminine side or my masculine side? If I'm in a toxic, hostile situation, hell yeah, I'm going to become masculine. Because now I have to protect myself, and not only myself, but my baby cubs at the same instant.
Oh, I got so much for that.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, hold on.
And you're probably going to be like, there's somebody supposed to be there to protect you. But unfortunately, that has not been the mission for me in the universe.
That ain't where I'm going. Let me catch the chat room. Sean Moore said that's because we've devalued the black man. We know that. He says we totally agree with that, especially black masculinity. He says yes, woman gives birth, but the importance is of it is incomparable. Jay says, who cares what the females in the Western world talk about? Become a passport, bro. Get you a beautiful feminine wife overseas. That's where he's going in 2 years. Uh-oh. No, I'm just
Hey,
good luck on finding your chick in Bucharest.
Hey, to each their own. I was seeing them Filipino women. They were looking fine over there.
He said the Western world is done. Okay, my brother, talk your shit. Dion says these women are rough, though. I wonder who made these women turn out like that. Jay said Western world is coming to an end. He said this generation is coming to an end. Western world is coming to an end with all this craziness. Dion said these women are definitely more masculine than when I was growing up. Life comes from the loins of men. These women who've committed to the concept of men being indispensable. Okay, let me read that over because I went to NPS. Even though it was King, it was still NPS. He said, life comes from the loins of men. These women who have committed to the concept of men being indispensable. Okay, so they've committed to the idea that we're just sperm donors. He said, that's Sean Moore, by the way. Shout out to Sean Moore. Dion said, I just told a friend how African-American men and women have turned their backs on one another. We treat each other like enemies.
That's because they scared. I see the posts on Facebook every day, women and then like there's some women that they try to present it like they just, well, I'm just saying what I'm saying, but really it be trauma all in that shit. Like men are this, that, and the third. No, the men you fucked with are that. But it goes back to that accountability you were saying. Instead of people saying, you know what, men have hurt me, let me examine myself and find a pattern of the men I fucked with, and allowed access to me. Instead of that, I'm just going to generalize it and perceive all men as this way. And don't get me wrong, you can't tell anybody how to hurt, but a lot of people are viewing each other through a perspective of pain, and it got motherfuckers out here miserable. because just as much as their desire to be loved,
Hey,
they're fearful of the motherfuckers they want love from even more than that desire to be loved. So it's just a circle of misery.
Go ahead, Kamar.
No, I was just agreeing with it. I was agreeing with him.
Sean said he's gonna get spiritual. He said you are who you are before you get to the womb. Dion says you never hear no other culture of men or women degrade one another the way we do as African Americans. Actually, you know, in other cultures, the men still hold a domineering position, though. Like, listen, they still kind of hold the household down with an iron fist in a lot of cultures, where the woman knows
down talking, but they're gonna go upside her head.
You know what's the problem?
Yeah, for real.
Black men and black
them
women,
cultures is still snapping the dust out they mat.
We both traumatized so much, you know what I'm saying? Right. To where it's like, you know, not only are you looking for that real, but you know, it's also like, what about me? Like, what am I doing that's attracting these types? Or what is it that I'm looking for that I keep finding in these types that I shouldn't be looking for? You know what I mean? You got to look a lot deeper. It's something about yourself that's attracting this energy to you. You expect the men to be like this. So since this is the energy you putting out here, this is the energy that's attracting to you. And you know what I mean? So you change that mindset. A lot of people don't be ready for relationships and they don't even know it.
They really don't. They be trying to get to a relationship looking for someone to complete them instead of coming to a relationship already whole. And that be the problem.
Right.
I think it comes back around to what we said about accountability.
Fuckers getting together, looking at each other to heal themselves and get with each other.
This is the thing. It comes back around to what we said about accountability. If you a female out there and you've been dogged by some men, so you treat good men like shit, you're gonna be by yourself, and nobody cares that you had some bad relationships. You're gonna be alone.
And that's why we comfortable with our money, though, Kev.
Right. Well, be alone and lay up with your money and cuddle on a cold night in the wintertime and get your money when it's a mouse in the house. All these badass masculine women, you let one mouse go in the house, she up on the cabinet, right? It's certain. There's man things and there's women things. I mean, it's nothing wrong with saying that out loud. Now, if you haven't found someone and you say, I do what I got to do because I'm by myself, I totally understand. But when you get into the realm of, I don't need no man. I can be a man and a woman. No, you can't.
Well, see, I ain't no man hater. I ain't the modern day man hater. No, I truly believe that God created masculine energy and feminine energy, and He makes the decision on which one He wanted you to. I'm totally against mutilating your body because you think you got a lot of feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? But I need a man. I know I need a man. I need him very much so, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But men are not capable of.
We ain't capable
of providing the things that I need.
It ain't no man who can provide what you need. Lord have mercy.
Listen,
that's
I'm
a whole
single,
other
honey,
show.
So if you want to make this a dating show,
no, not
I am
at all.
more than willing to meet the newer class men that are stable mentally, physically, emotionally, basking both in their masculine and feminine energy. Because nigga, when I'm tired, can you make sure I'm straight?
Yeah, but this is Kamar. This is what the witch doctor just said, though.
Let me tell you.
In order to get that, you got to put off a certain kind of energy, though. That just don't fall into place automatically. You can't be Brody.
I do give off good energy, and that's how come I keep running into the same narcissistic ass niggas, because I don't allow my heart to turn cold and turn into that woman that say fuck all niggas is bad. I still got hope I'm gonna meet that good wholesome ass nigga. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
But a lot of these men are so caveman mentality that they won't even learn how to shoot me with my EpiPen. If you take me out a date and we walk past the seafood and I start to choke and die, can you save my life? And these niggas won't even indulge in the fact that that's nurturing and protective. So you have to be both divine, masculine, and feminine energy.
Wait a minute. Come on. I just found out I'm a horrible man. I don't know CPR. I'm a horrible man. I don't know CPR.
Wait a minute. Well, go ahead, Marcus. We go.
I just found out. I'm a horrible man. I don't know CPR, right?
Right. How dare you not give me a
my lady
now?
and she started
I
choking
just
or
met
something.
you.
How
I
dare
didn't even know you had an EpiPen.
No. Because I let
Did you-
people know that out the gate because niggas always want to take me to seafood so they can show me how big their pocket's supposed to be.
Wow, this thing is turning into something else. This is like Frosty the Snowman. Like, hold on, let me get my chat room. This got hot because of Lion Van Zandt that said some wild shit on the Breakfast Club, right? Sean Moore says, when women choose bums, they assume they're going to be fucked again. That's trauma. Okay. Dion said, my vagina fell out a couple years ago and I've been looking for it. I don't know what the hell Dion is talking about. Woo, he must be on the road. Sean Moore wants your email, Rel. Let me see.
Okay.
Dion's cracking himself up. I'm glad you can have fun at our expense, Dion. That is hilarious. Mama Jenkins said it's called respect, responsibility, and rent. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mama Jenkins.
That's about none of them three are.
Right. When these women are raised in households that have no respect for men, the men they will attract will be fucked up, is what Sean Moore said. Tall Tim Pops. He said the things that most people searching for is a way of life. If you ain't living it, you ain't giving it. Figure you out first. You are your number one priority. We just said that you are your worst enemy a lot of the times, and you don't even realize it. He said, "What the hell, Erica?" Sean Moore's reaction because she said these niggas, she's letting them go. Tiasha said, "Look at Kev sounding like Samuel Gates." I hope not. I hope not. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm because I don't want to come off as a wannabe Kevin Gates. I'm saying, listen, I'm saying this. Even as a man, right? Check this out. And I don't know if women realize this. Even as a man, right? And I got a lot of partners who, whatever reason, they still single. We older now. Man, I'm still a player out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These hoes, man. Yeah. But it's the energy they put off. And they say, man, that's why I don't trust her, bro. And usually the worst 3 occurrences were all the same type of female. So you may have got victimized once, but them second 2 times, you was a cheerleader for foolishness. You saw this shit coming. You refused to say, like Kamar said, let me change the way I approach this. Let me change the way I'm living. Let me change the kind of women that I'm attracted to. Because a lot of times what you want ain't what you need. Right?
Hey, you know how they say hoes attract pimps. You know what I mean? Like it's something, it's always
ain't
something
recognized game.
It's always something about us that attract a certain type. You know what I mean? It's cruel, but it's fair. I ain't throwing no darts at nobody, but it's cruel, but it's fair. It's something about us that attracts certain types. You know what I mean? Like you get hood niggas, dope dealers back in the day when we was growing up. You know what I mean? Shit, it was a certain type of women that we got.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Out here messing with the dope dealers.
With no church girl pick none of us, nigga living in a dope house and shit. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't match like that. So it's always something about us that attract a certain type.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. And a lot of times we don't want to take a look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I need to work on this. We say that's just how it is, goddamn it. Motherfucker got to deal with me. I ain't fuck that. And so, and I'm,
you know, I mean, like I say, we got to figure that out.
I'm not speaking specifically to you. Right. I want you to understand.
Oh no, I'm just listening.
Right, because I don't want, and I don't want women to say, "Ooh, No, I'm saying you get what you give off, right? Like, if what I'm the energy that I'm putting out, I'm usually gonna get it back. It's gonna be reciprocal. Dion said, "I love them all. I'm happy being." He said, I love them all. I'm happy being single ass women. Hey. They gonna munch some carpet.
Hey, niggas, you get the niggas that be in the club having money, right? They want women with big asses and shit, right? And usually the women
they want the women that's made up like trainees.
And usually the women, and then usually those type of women.
Not like trainees. No.
Hey, listen, they do look like trainees with all that damn makeup on. They do look like trainees with all that makeup on. But what I'm saying, but my point is, you know what I mean? These niggas usually get these type of women.
Right.
And these type of women usually want the money.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So like it's something about you that's gonna attract that type.
Okay. Sharon Evans, how you doing, my sister? She said, "What's going on, Outlaws? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the show, live from the basement. The Witch Doctor, and my homie Rail, Mr. Valentine, as we call him around here, Huge Hefner himself. Tiarsha said, I'm just playing. I know. Hey, look, nothing is taken. Nobody on here has thin skin. If you do, you listen to the wrong show. You will get your feelings hurt around this motherfucker. Dion said women with kids should not be dating. Raise them kids because nobody wants to be bothered with another man's kids.
Damn.
Ouch. Hell no.
Ouch.
Ouch. I can't have no life because I got kids.
Uh-oh. Baby mama drama.
Who got 15, 20 kids and 7 baby mamas.
Dion.
They deserve a life. They continue to build and create new relationships with new women, create new children. They continue to do that. But me and my 4 kids, we don't deserve a father in the home or a protector or provider because last one failed.
Sean Moore, he can text you. He can text you his email. You put it in the chat. I don't have to. He don't have to give it to you over the air. But you please give Sean Moore your email, please, Real.
I ain't know right now. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I didn't know either. You just you won't let him give me the email. The name ain't the show. Rail's email.
Sean say stop the show. Stop the show.
I said I want his email.
It's the higher frequency at Gmail. So it's HIGHERFREAKUENCY.
And I guarantee you he didn't write it down. That's what I'm saying. Put it in the chat room.
How about stop the show? Let me
all you gotta do is respond to his comment. I don't know, you probably ain't watching the show. That's what happened when you ain't watching your own show, motherfucker. Like, oh shit, let me get on Facebook.
I just see in this comment tag. I never knew how Courtney was
Courtney be in and out. Shout out to the juice lady. Dion said I ain't paying for no motherfucking babysitter. Oh shit. He said,
nigga, I can pay for my own. You the type of nigga who get a call back.
I guess y'all won't be going out.
You can't pay for a babysitter. You ain't trying to pay for no rubber to protect yourself either.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not paying for no babysitter either. Like I like. Why not? What do you mean? If we going on a date, you gonna say, "Can you pay for my baby?" No, I can't pay for your babysitter. No,
because I'm already. A real woman already had that in the line because she already got her week planned out.
Thank you. That tells me a lot about you if you want me to pay for your babysitter. I'm like, oh no, you ain't got your shit together. You don't need to be going on no date.
No, the nigga that say that after he asked you to take you out, don't get no call back.
That's okay, because he didn't want you anyways, because you can't never go nowhere because you got on damn kids. So it's better that you don't call him back. Don't waste his time. I'm sorry.
Don't waste his time.
Sean Moore said if you don't want a pimp, don't sell pussy. This show is getting worse and worse. I'm telling you. This show it's become just like the streets in Milwaukee, right? It's a sewer. Right? White people tuning in now like, what the fuck is going on here with these niggers? Jay said they be like, I don't need no man. I'm an independent woman. They happy with their 10 cats and being a barfly. Damn, shots fired at the sisters tonight. What is going hard? Oh my gosh. Y'all sisters, get down, duck. We'll protect you. Kamar said he reveres them. He's gonna protect them. Sean said, speak for yourself, Kamar. I had a couple college students and church girls. They wasn't angels though. Yeah, they wasn't really good church girls.
They ain't still there. It didn't last.
Real shit.
That's my and that's the point I'm making. The energy, it don't work.
I can tell you this. I was very left of the line, and my wife was way more square, church girl, whatever. But I also had the essence of growing up in the church too, so I understood. You know what I mean? Like I once again, I knew some of the stuff I used to do was just wow. Like I just didn't give a shit, and I chose to do it. But I had to change my energy in order to be compatible with her. I had to make some changes because she would tell me like, look, we could be together forever, but you can't be living like this or that. Like that's not something I want to deal with. And I had to choose it or lose it. So I said, either I'm gonna square up or I'm gonna ship out. And so really, if a woman really if a man care about you, you really have a lot more influence on some of the decisions that he makes and the things that he does. Like, and I'm not saying you can run him, but you'd be surprised how a woman can tame the savage beast. I done seen some of the hardest gangsters, hardest thugs get a woman and be like, cuz I'm about to go get me a job, man. Me and no girl, man, we went and got us a crib. You're like, damn, I thought you was thugging. He in love, man. You listening to Boys to Men and everything. Kevin Samuel, she's laughing. Jay said it's over, lady. It's over. Oh my God. My chat room is on deck tonight. They just going off on women. Men have a lot to say to black women, trust me. And all of it ain't easy on the ears. The sisters will tear you a new ass. I'm telling you. You don't want to go mouth. You don't want to go like bar for bar with a lot of these black women out here because they will say something. You be like, what the fuck? I can't believe she said that. Like, it's a tough conversation. John Moore said just because her ass big don't mean she look like a trainee. That's bullshit.
I'm talking about, we talking about all that makeup. The motherfuckers.
That's what we talking about.
Makeup,
they be having all that makeup on, looking
the wig, the makeup, the body, all that.
It's just for me, just that big ass eyelashes and the baby hair. Like, I'm just like, I'll be glad when this trend goes away. Other than that, I don't tell no woman.
It ain't going nowhere.
How to do what. Her look is her look.
Eventually.
But yeah, man, come on, man. Yeah, come on with the eyelashes, man, and the baby hair.
Hey, just like them regular ponytails, they went out. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
The hairstyles, they gonna change. It's gonna switch up. It's gonna be
the hair hat. And I'm so dumb.
We just gotta ride this wave out, right?
I'm so dumb. I didn't even know what a lace front was. I don't know nothing. My wife don't wear wigs. She don't wear weave or wig. So I've always known her to do her own hair. And so she had to explain to me because I'm like, why they all got the glue, the hair glued on it? She like, it's a wig. I'm like, what? To the point where we be watching TV and I'd be like, so that's a wig? She'd be like, Kevin, for real, you really can't tell? I can't tell. I don't know. I don't know. Dion says we have to realize our self-worth. We too quick to holler at a beautiful woman with a bunch of motherfucking kids that have nothing to offer. Big butts don't mean that. What the hell was that about? I grew up watching Pam Grier. Sean Moore said. There's your email address, Sean. Please write it down and do not interrupt my show again, please. Shout out to Sean Moore. He said, I have one child. My daughter is 29. Dion says. Okay.
I think it all goes about how, like, real shit. As I grew older and my values changed, the kind of women I even was attracted to changed. Like, I never really went out shooting my shot at women. They always approached me. You know? So I mean, not like.
I mean, damn, that's what you said. I mean,
because I know, man, it's just.
But see, now I got a question on this. I just got a statement, a question, or whatever it is on this. We are what we attract. I remember being a 17-year-old girl and getting beer bottles thrown at me because I refused to talk to the nigga. Did I not attract that nigga to me or what?
No, you just in the wrong neighborhood. That you just a random victim. That shit ain't got to do with you, what you attracted. And
I'm speaking of relationships.
Okay.
I don't know about the niggas passing by, right?
Yeah.
They just some assholes. They fucked up.
Yeah, I done seen some do. And see, in our neighborhood, that was never cool. If you try to talk to her, you try to holler and she keep, bitch, you be like, oh, bro, why you? Because she wouldn't talk to you, man. Come on, man, we better than that. We don't do nothing like that around here. Right. Sean Moore said, I don't want no woman that feel like I'm hugging me. That's he said, I just had to delete a comment. Okay. Yeah, watch yourself because they be watching. Dion said, when a woman lays down with a man, she takes the risk of bearing an unwanted child. We going into some dangerous turf.
Why I gotta be unwanted? Because you don't want your seed?
Well, I think he's saying it's the woman bears most of the responsibility to be more careful, I guess he's saying. He says, see, most women feel like
when
he said,
and see, and I don't understand that. That's what I don't understand either. Why is it that a woman has to be more careful on choosing who she allows to squirt a seed at her compared to the man who has the seed? Like, we can't have children until you give me a seed.
I do believe women should.
Most men don't give a fuck and then run off. And
so
then you
it's just okay to allow men to just be like, I know I don't want to have no baby. I'm finna fuck you raw, excuse my language, but I'm finna get in you raw. And if you decide to have this baby, it's on you because I'm out the gate. I'm telling you, I don't want the baby.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what
I mean, if he told you what it was before y'all fucked, I mean, that's kind of like.
On the real, basically that is what's happening. You know what I mean? On the real, that is what's happening. Like men laying down with women, having sex with them, then pop up with a baby and they hit it. So what he's saying is women should be more responsible. You know what I mean? On who they let in, because these niggas don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I agree.
Let me bring this back to the middle, right?
That's what he's saying.
For middle America in the Rust Belt, in the Bible Belt where we're from. I think that the first thing is women should be just a little bit more vigilant because she bears the burden of having to carry the child. And so, yeah, the man can hit it, but the baby is actually inside the woman, right? For baby making 101, she actually has to bear the child. So she has to say, I got to make sure that I'm not left in a situation that could have me twisted up. So I really need to make sure I protect myself. But a lot of the times, it's a mutual thing to engage in unprotected sex. It's not usually where he snuck, girl, I didn't know. Well, you knew, right? And we know, when they say, finish him, we know. You ever play Mortal Kombat, fatality. You already know. Like, we know you grown. Like, you know. And women, it's like you got 3 baby daddies, 4 baby daddies, and 5 kids. It's like, damn, like what the computer wasn't putin' somewhere along the way. You can't blame all 5 of them men and say none of them wasn't shit. Maybe you ain't shit for letting them all kind of copulate. And okay, different show. Dion says, see, most women feel like a man should be responsible for a child the next man didn't want. Oh, he's still talking about baby mamas. He's saying that man didn't want it, so why you want me to take care of it? Damn, Dion, you go in.
And if that's the case, then though, about the men who run around here saying I don't want kids, that's the only thing I agree with this. There should be male birth control. There should be some type of male birth control. So a nigga in his life who's saying I want to have all the sex in the world without the accountability and responsibility behind it, therefore you shooting blank.
You should make that shit, Erica.
Shoot me if I'm wrong. Shoot me if I'm wrong, but ain't that why they got Plan B though? So women can say,
that's
you know what?
That's after the fact.
I thought that was like the ultimate next morning thing. Like, oh, I messed around, let dude, shoot up the club. I'm about to go give me a Plan B. I thought that's what it was for. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know.
They is buying Plan Bs instead of boxes of condoms.
Okay, so yeah,
they go on to Walgreens before they even have the sex. Right, they get the Plan B. So the whole title of the name Plan B is because Plan A failed.
Plan B is Plan A.
Right.
Right now, Plan B is the Plan A.
Plan B. I thought the B stood for bareback. Plan bareback. You was bareback, and so you're gonna need this. Okay, my bad.
That's what the B means.
That was horrible.
The B means bareback.
That was horrible.
It's for we were using condoms. It broke. I don't want to take a chance of being pregnant.
The broke thing ain't a good excuse though. Like if it breaks, you automatically can tell the difference. Like, hey, brothers, and you broke. Come on, son. Come on, son. You knew. Come on now.
You know that motherfucker broke.
All right. Come on, man. It broke. Yeah, like it was glass or something. It broke.
You know it broke.
No, now you broke because you got a baby on the way. That's what broke. Mama Jenkins, she said it's best to be a prostitute than a hoe because a prostitute get out with a pocket full of money and a hoe get up with a wet ass. Damn.
Right.
I told you, man. Listen. No punches are pulled on Outlaw Radio, man. She said a hoe get up.
Prostitute.
Yeah, but in order for her to continue to keep getting up with that money in her pocket, something in her brain has to kill off her desire for compassion and passion and the need and warmth of that companionship. In order for her to continuously go through that, she has to cut all of that off in her brain.
We on some hot shit tonight. Real, what was you finna say?
Oh no, I was saying prostitution actually shaped the West. That's why like California and areas like that were actually able to build cities and shit because women went out there while the dudes was 40, the gold rush, and like the women went out there, set up shop, and they was getting so much money, they was able to build saloons, and then the saloons made the store, and then because they was having kids, they built schools. So prostitution actually built the West.
So in other words, hold up, wait a minute, let me put some pimping in it.
Oh Lord.
Well, I mean that's just something y'all can research,
Until you a 17-year-old girl on a roll and this nigga keeps stalking you at school because he wants you to be his hoe.
Yeah, yes, death to all predators, death to any pimp who call himself a pimp and he's working underage girls. I hope they catch him and dip his lower extremities in acid. I have no mercy for him. That's
Well,
horrible.
actually, pimps didn't even start until prostitution was prohibited. Like before prostitution was made illegal and had to go underground,
Okay.
the women were able to govern themselves, in the daylight. But once it became illegal, they had to start doing it undercover, which they start using men as solicitors to get the clientele. So that's
Wow.
when you have like the gentlemen and the gentlemen of leisure and shit like that. But
What
they
you went
said,
to pimp college? Let me break down the history of pimping for you,
well,
player.
sex trafficking didn't
He
come
ran
into
Pimp
play.
101.
Sex trafficking didn't come into play until the Chinese who were coming to do the railroads. They were mailing back for supposed wives, and then when
Mm-hmm.
the girl got here, she realized that she was actually coming to be a prostitute instead of a wife. So
Talk your shit. Talk
that's
your shit,
how
Rev.
that shit jumped off, but it jumped off because it was made illegal. Just like with drugs and alcohol. When you make shit illegal and it has to go to the underworld, that's when the violence and unscrupulous shit happen.
My man, 50 grand. Give me 5 on the side that's brown.
That sound about right, but I ain't learned about Pippin until 2004.
When you first heard Kenny Ivy spit somewhere, Ken Ivy, you said,
Man,
"Oh man,
I still need him to be my publishing agent, man.
man, I'm trying to. You know what? He was on the show, man. I'm trying to get. I need to try to get him back.
Yeah.
MC Tone's supposed to be on the show. I need to holler at MC Tone because last time I seen MC Tone, I told him we was gonna bring him right on. So I got to holler. We gonna bring the pimping in. We gonna bring the pimping in the house.
Pimpin' can be getting people in CVS. He got to deal with the publications that put books in the CVS and stuff like that.
Yeah, he got a whole movement going, man. And you know what? When he was on the show, it was kind of like when the sex trafficking thing really started to, really explode. And he said on the show, like right now, pimps got to change their game because
Right.
that shit is the sex trafficking now. It ain't no regular charge. It ain't just pandering no more. They
Right.
adding that shit to it. So yeah, he's transitioned.
Right.
And he's been on every platform. I'm gonna see if I can get him back. Dion said when I was young, I decided that I was going to have kids by multiple women, and I stuck with. I decided I wasn't going to have kids by multiple women, and I stuck with it. I'm 45 years old with one child. Man, listen, you sometimes accidents happen. I understand that, but that's why you got to be vigilant, man. Kev thought that was all of a dream of all of I dream of Jeannie hair in that bun. What are you talking about, Ernest? What are you talking about? What are you
That
talking?
ponytail you ain't like, I guess.
The ponytail. What
Did y'all
ponytail?
say something about the that ponytail that was in style? He was like, it's going out just like the ponytail or something. Is he talking about that?
I don't
Because
know. I think he's talking about me saying something about wigs or something. Ernest, you can straighten it out. We know Ernest will straighten it out. Tiasha said in response to Dion's comment, if he in a relationship with women that has kids, yes, you will treat the child or the children as your own if you are serious about the woman. Oh, okay. I hear you because you will. Y'all know we will, stepdaddy. I see your ass at State Fair with everybody kids. Like,
Hey,
damn,
you know
boy.
what? Hey, you know what? In our community, unfortunately, I feel like we should be stepping into more of these kids' lives.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you really for real about getting the community right, because a lot of these kids ain't got no father. That's what I'm saying. Hell, she alone.
that would
You
be
know what
the
I'm saying? They need to know how men operate.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And Kamar, and I will say this: if you's a real one, I'm just gonna say this: if you a real one, first of all, it's not that kid's fault if his daddy chooses to be a deadbeat, right? And if you are with a
Right.
woman who says to you he needs a man in his life, and I know that, and I will give you the right to deal with him, then you kind of a punk if you don't. Because your heart should be saying, man, let me show these kids, man, some love, man. I don't want to, but now if she one of them type of women, I do my own, and you don't say none of mine, and blah, 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 then it's like, nah, man, that ain't my son. That's her, man. That's her. And there's a lot of women who are like that. Like they're enablers for their children. So they say, that ain't, you ain't his dad. You ain't got to be his daddy. Look, if I'm going to be living in the house paying bills and he going to be eating some of the food that I buy, right? He gonna be watching some of the cable that I pay for, riding in some of the cars that I put gas in. Yeah, it's gonna be some order. It's gonna be some understanding. Me saying, hey man, I'm the dude. Like you seen baby boy. You
And
seen
not
what
only
happened in
that,
baby
and
boy.
not only that, man, but you know what I mean? I'm a man, and I want any youngster that come up under me to be great,
There you go. There you go.
whether he mine or not.
Said, daddy dude is my number one attraction. A man that can handle his daddy duties is all right with me.
Well, he should. I think it's, but I do understand how some brothers be like, man, please, I ain't here for that. Well, then you need to make that known and let her make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like it. You really cool, and then when she leave, you beating the hell out the kids. Like you ain't mine anyway, little motherfucker. You wrong. Sean
Oh,
says,
they
what type of man plants a fruit tree in rotten soil? He's not a man at that time, obviously. However, you allowed the seed to be planted. He said there are condoms, right? Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
Mama
there is
Jenkins says, "Speak
vasectomies,
truth,
right?
Rail." She said, "Speak truth, Rail." Rail was given the history of pimping, baby. Right? I know for a fact Rail got some gators somewhere. I can't wait till we start doing these events. I'm gonna see Rail slide up in the aqua velvet gators one day.
I used to be fitted, man. COVID probably had me grow out of most of that shit, but you know, it's just that's how I was raised. Well, that the people that raised me, you know, everybody like I had my father. Thankfully, I still got my parents, but I had uncles and shit like that, and just people in the neighborhood who, you know, was up on that type of shit.
Right. I think what you when what you learn from your family about women, it goes a long way about relationships. And if you don't have that, you are in deep doo-doo. My mom, once again, my mother was a very strong woman, but she was still feminine. She was very outspoken, she was very aggressive, she was very opinionated, but she was a woman. Like, so she always said, I'm a woman at the end of the day, and I'm gonna conduct myself as such. But she also explained to me some of the things that a man should be able to do for her to be interested. And she would tell me, you got to figure out your own thing, and you're gonna have to get into your own relationship. But I'm just gonna tell you how I've always envisioned a man to be, and this is why I raised you and your brother the way that I did. Of course, it helped out tremendously that Reverend Barnes was in the home too, because he was that dude as a father. I can tell you that right now. And if there's any advantage that I had, and I say this with a lot of reverence, I understand the father that I had was a tremendous advantage. My father was like the pops. He was like one of the greatest pops you could have, right? Everybody in my neighborhood loved my pops, right? And they always wanted to be around. And my father would let the whole neighborhood kick it. You know what I'm saying? If we going to ride horses or something on the weekend, he's saying all y'all, we all on the back of the pickup truck. I'm mad as hell. Like, why the hell you taking all them? He like, it ain't your money. Fuck you worried about it, folks. Sit your ass down and chill. So if there was an advantage, there was him showing me this is how you should conduct yourself with a man. This is what a woman should be for you and to you if you're going to treat her the way she needs to be treated. So I did have an advantage in that regard. So I won't front like I grew up, on a plantation with wolves raising me. Dion said he wanted a vasectomy, right? Man, you only got one kid.
He need one.
Why clip it now though? If I was you, I'd be shooting for the moon. You 45. Right? Like now is the time to get you a girl and have you some little ones, man. I love kids, man. I'm sorry. I don't.
And I thought about getting one.
Oh, wow. There we go. She said, "Oh man, baby." Damn. She said, "Don't nobody want an old man's baby." Lord have mercy. Is that what it is? My father was 40 when I was born. I don't know. That's crazy.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify. That's the one that's been shooting shots at mama. Is that the one that's been shooting shots at the mama?
No, that was me shooting the shots on here.
I'm talking about in the comments. Somebody was shooting shots at all the women.
Oh no, yeah, Dion go hard on everybody though. Dion goes hard on everybody.
He don't like nobody.
Right, Dion go hard.
Like I said, don't nobody want that old man baby.
He says, see, most times when men play the daddy role is because they have nothing going on for themselves and a woman is their rescue. Ernest was talking about when I said lace front wigs. He said I thought that was all they real hair. I just didn't know the hair hat. I call them hair hats. That slipped past me because they didn't have them when we were young. So I didn't know nothing about this. I just was wondering why all of a sudden I start seeing grown women with hair glued to their forehead. And I'm like, that style is not cool. And my wife is like, that's a wig. What are you talking about? That ain't no wig. Like, how she get the part to match up to her total complexion? Like, they'll have a part that's
Hey,
like
they specialize in that shit, man.
technology, man.
That
Technology.
invisible part. That's what it's called, invisible part.
Is that what it's
Wait
called?
till you meet a man with a hair wig or a hair cap.
You said meet a man. Well, dudes wear toupees. I don't know. Steve Harvey wore one for years. I didn't know it was a toupee. I guess I just don't be in nobody business like that. Now I just be like, you know, it ain't on me to know. Sean Moore said you're supposed to date so you know what you like and what you don't. You got to get to know a person.
I agree. Totally agree.
Mama Jenkins said there's always a history. Women, there's always a history that they should know about. Sean said I gathered dozens of kids and have never touched their mothers. You know what? I've seen single women. I coached sports, so I've seen women trying to really, trying to get this young man to get in line and whatnot. And I never mind pulling the youngster aside, saying, "Man, look, man, you got to do the right thing. Your mama, she love you or whatever," and giving him a talk and letting him know how he should be. And we would do that as a staff when we coached at Washington. We had boys who grandmothers, was older, and they, for whatever reason, they had custody of him. And he's 17, 18, he running crazy. Grandmama can't keep up with him. We used to grab them little youngsters, man, and pull them to the side like, man, we'll beat your ass. Your grandmother too nice, man, for you to be out here acting like this. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sean Moore said, anyway, when dating casually, I don't want to meet your children because I'm looking to commit. Ain't getting no vasectomy just to get some casual pee. He said that's what condoms and head is for. Excuse me, moms. Yeah, I told you this show is horrible. It's horrible tonight. Ernest said I was basically saying that's how come white women wear weaves too. He said, now why you putting white women on me, Ernest? What I do to you? Why you saying? Why you got to put me in there? Dion said that's why you don't move in with a woman with kids. He said, see, women have young girls. You have to be careful with that because I have known people who was falsely accused of molesting a child. Okay. Sean Moore said they don't turn down good old man penis, though. That might be what your ass need, because from what you're saying, your current selection ain't working out, baby. No disrespect. I should not have read that comment out loud. I was full Ron Burgundy.
I'm about to get back in the comments because nigga, please. I wish a nigga would. Hey, because old man Dick, when he get through smoking them cigarettes and having them 40s or Miller Lights every day on the couch, stuck to the couch, you're not gonna have no real life because he don't want to go nowhere. All you gonna do is sit around and smell cigarettes, smoke, and sports because they is in that cave.
Goodness gracious. What?
I'm trying to tell you what the population looks like out here. Y'all been cooped up and with your women for so damn long. You don't see how bad these men done got out here.
Oh my God. Oh, hey,
you have not
Mama
seen
Jenkins,
these men.
Mama Jenkins said preacher kids, little bad motherfuckers, undercover badasses. Old men got old sperm and the babies come here looking old.
Old man, baby.
Old man sperm. There's a baby named Nicodemus. His name Ezekiel. What the hell? Solomon and shit. What's your son name? Moses? What the fuck? Right, he got an old slave name and shit. Oh man, she said preacher's kid. Look, I can honestly say as a preacher's kid, people say I was bad. I was pretty, mischievous. I don't know if it was undercover though, but I guess is it something to that? Preacher's kids being bad? I don't know. That's what people always, because my brother was pretty well mannered. It was just me, and they would just look at me like he the bad one, right? The dark skinned one is the bad one, right? Hey Keith, hey Kevin. That's how people used to speak to us, right? Like damn, why I can't get no love? Let me see. Dion said his reasons for things why I feel, and that's why I feel like women with children should date outside of the home and not introduce the kids to the men that they date. Sean Moore said he's fathered dozens. So check this out. Now I have to talk about this. I have to talk. Oh, Mama Jenkins says she a preacher's daughter. So she know. There we go. So she know. You know how we get down as PKs, right? Y'all see 6ix9ine get his socks beat off of him, man. Like I wanted to talk. I didn't want to put this out front, but was this inevitable, right? Like, did you feel any empathy for him, Kamar? First of all, did you see the footage? Because I put it all in the People's News Network.
Yeah, right? I seen it. I ain't feel bad.
listen, we have a cultural norm that's going on right now because of the internet, because of social media. People become internet gangsters. We used to call them mouse pad mobsters, right? Like, and so you can get on this internet and you could say all this kind of shit. And most people didn't feel bad for him because of all the times you've seen him. Fuck this, fuck that. Come get me. I went to O Block and we know he went at 4 a.m. and he just all this posturing about nobody can touch me. I can do what I want to do. Y'all old niggas this and that. There's rules to the game, youngster. There's rules. And there's so many other. I live in the podverse. I keep telling y'all, I'm watching Whack 100. I'm watching Charleston White. I'm watching all these dudes who come on the internet and say all this shit and they so thugged out and they so gangster and then get caught in real life by some real action. And so when I'm watching him get beat, I'm like, damn. I think for me, is for us in our age group, we were kind of saying we knew this was gonna happen, right? We knew this was gonna happen. But people still said, oh man, George Zimmerman out here living free and y'all beat up 6ix9ine. Like, what is that all about? And I'm like, well, when was the last time George Zimmerman went live from somewhere? When has he gone to O Block in Chicago? When has he been on a podcast talking about fuck Nipsey Hussle and fuck all these motherfuckers and fuck you and come get me and I'll go everywhere without security? Really? You do? Well, this is what happens to people who run their mouth and don't have security. For my generation, I guess this was the norm back in the days. You talk shit about somebody or you talk too much shit in the wrong place, you usually got your ass whooped. It's this generation where ass whooping went down. The ass whooping amountage went down. Where it just ain't as common no more for people to get hands and feet put on them. I mean, I grew up in the era where I've seen people on the city bus. You be in the back of the 62 getting a mud hole stomped in your ass because you was the wrong place talking shit. And that's how you were taught. And now these kids can do it on social media and Facebook. Nobody touches you. And God forbid you start to make a little money and can afford to keep some people around you. But I just don't think this is the time to say, well, George Zimmerman is still alive and they beat up 6ix9ine. I'm pretty sure there's some brothers in some places in this country where if George Zimmerman was there and he was recognized, he'd get the foo-fops put on him. I'm guaranteeing you it, right? I have to quote the great Pimp C. Niggas talk a lot of shit from a safe place, right? And if you know, you know. If you know about diamonds up against that wood, you know. I know because they can't look me eye to eye when they in my face. I'm a UGK alumni, man. I'm trying to tell you. What y'all think about 6ix9ine getting the foo-fops, getting what they said, the sonic rings knocked out of his ass?
Well, it was coming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was coming. Shit,
right.
That's the type of shit that happened, man. You talk shit about somebody, eventually they're gonna come breathe on
you. Yeah. And check this out. That precedent is set now. We was just waiting on this to happen. Now that precedent is set. So you know what? It's more coming. There's somebody else who been on this internet and this net that's gonna get the foo-fops put on them. They're gonna get caught slipping somewhere. And so I feel I don't wish anything on anybody, but it just the line of respect, the any kind of code has been lost. When we as black men one black man would tell another black man, I'm a George Zimmerman, your son. I'm a Trayvon Martin, your son, because they arguing on the internet, and people say, "Oh, that's cool," right? Like when I look at all the stuff, Sean Moore. I mean, not Sean Moore, but I'm sorry, Sean, not Sean Moore, Charleston White. All the stuff I've heard Charleston White say, it outweighs anything positive he's doing in the community. People say, but he worked with kids. I don't care. Disrespect is disrespect, man. And certain shit just shouldn't be said. Certain lines shouldn't be crossed. If we don't have a code, if we don't have structure, then what do we have? We don't have anything. And so I guess in a lot of ways, I felt like that ass whooping 6ix9ine got was kind of like a teachable moment. It was like a moment for youngsters to say, damn. And it didn't hurt that I could tell those dudes who was doing it was a little bit older. They looked like they might have been close to our generation. Like they might have been just familiar. They're like Rail. Rail is young, but he come from our school still, our train of thought. He understands how things were back in the day. So I think them dudes was about they was 30-ish, and they put this stomps, kicks. Just he was on the floor. Where all the big at least fight back. I'm saying you were supposed to be a gangster, right? This is how you know it's all tomfoolery. If I'm in the bathroom, first of all, if I know I'm hot, right, and I'm in the bathroom or I'm anywhere, and I see three dudes kind of plotting, I'm gonna be like, let me get ready, right? And I might get beat up, but I'm gonna be fighting back. I'm not gonna be balled up on the floor with my hand. Like he was like basically saying, "Oh, please give me mercy." It was. And I guess the bad part of me says it was good to see because I was tired of the bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't want to wish that on nobody, man. I'm sorry. Sean, let me see. Mama Jenkins said, "Did y'all see Future the after party or at Primes?" I didn't go. I don't go to concerts. Anybody know? They said he was here for an hour and he was out. Like I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really one to go to. I've been to some concerts. I've never been to an after party. Like I'm gonna pay $100 to have a drink with this motherfucker. Nah, I'm cool. Erica's talking to Sean. She said, "You create a toxic environment. My masculine side will come out and defend me." Sean said, "Disrespectful little bastard." Speaking of, we need some men to go to court with Mama Jenkins' family, as it's a bunch of young, disrespectful bastards that ain't gonna get away with saying certain shit in front of men. Okay, speaking of, we need some men to go to court with Mama Jenkins' family. It's I don't know. You got to. We'll talk about that, Sean. I don't know. I don't know. He said the dude who beat him up had just did 8 years. I'm saying I don't know what's going on with the court thing. So let me know. So if we need to kind of like get together and represent to support Mama Jenkins, we can. So we'll talk about that, Sean, after the show. Erica said, "Oh, I know my current selection is whack, and that's why I'm still single. If I stay with any of the unqualified, undeserving men, you'll be accusing me of toxic mother syndrome." Is your selection whack though? I mean, what does that say though? What does that say? Listen, if your selection is whack, why? Right? Like I'm serious. Like, listen, it's been a long time ago, right? But at one point, I was single, right? Like I know people like, dude, you shut up. You've been married forever, right? Like, but at one point I was single. And the thing was, I never looked at it like it ain't no good women out here, or I can't find a good woman. I looked at it like I'm just gonna have to keep messing with as many as I can until I find a good one, and then I'll stop. So it was a good thing for me. I just felt like, well, I mean, I guess she ain't the one. On to the next. I looked at it like, you just keep moving. I didn't, I didn't look at it like, oh my God, it ain't no good women out here. He said, stop trying to be comfortable. Am I trying to be comfortable? Let me know. I don't know. I don't know what that means, Sean. Sean speaking parables. I don't know. I was just kind of happy to see. I shouldn't say it out loud, but I was kind of happy to see Duke get his ass whooped. He had that coming. Let me see. Is there anything else? Because I know it's getting late. We might have to cut him down. Y'all got anything y'all wanted to shine some light on? Something that you said, man, I had to talk about this on the show. Let me know. Feel free to throw it in. Let me see.
Oh, I got one. Hey,
Go ahead.
how about the Hop was in the car accident?
Oh yeah. That train got some badass luck, don't it?
The same one that was a big issue about us paying taxes over, right?
Yeah. Wow. The train
Can't
to this
stay,
point.
can't stay on the track in the wintertime or when it's raining like a motherfucker. It's hitting cars and shit.
Damn.
That train has been a mess since it was such a wrong thing to do, and
they ain't making no money off the motherfucker.
Yeah, because nobody rides it. Right. Like who the fuck? Hey, let's go downtown and get on the train.
They're riding a circle.
Right. Like the common council that voted for this train is now gone. They've all moved around for the most part. They're not all gone, but a lot of them left. If left holding the bag was a person, right? Like I feel like that leadership just made a bunch of decisions. The mayor's over in where's he at? Liverpool's or some shit. He overseas eating cheese, drinking wine. I'm a diplomat. Bullshit, right? Like, so yeah, that train is a calamity, Kumar. I don't know what the end. Something gonna have to be done about it though. He said the sister who killed her husband on live. because I didn't talk about that don't mean I was trying to be comfortable. I don't give a shit about that. But I mean, did y'all see this? The black girl who I guess there's a woman who killed her husband on Facebook Live.
Yeah, she found out he was gay.
She found out he was gay, so she killed him on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all think about.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't see
talked
it.
about it. Hey, she made posts about it before she did it and everything.
They said
Okay.
she did it in front of her kids. That's what I don't. I mean, you don't want to see a life get lost for whatever reason, but I mean, I didn't watch it, and I wasn't gonna knowingly watch somebody get killed. But according to the comments, they were saying she shot him in front of the kids, and the kids was hollering for their daddy. So I mean, that's very traumatic for them kids to live through.
So that makes sense now because I kept seeing these posts where it says my husband is bisexual.
Yep. Yeah.
And I didn't take enough time because I'm thinking like what's important to be discussed for us. I didn't know. I didn't know. I seen those posts. I didn't pay attention. I mean, yeah, that's a tragedy, especially if she did it in front of the kids. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me see. Sean Dre Day. Shout out to Dre Day. He said the school shooting in Tennessee. Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning of the show when I said prayers and condolences to the family. Was it 3 people dead? And they said this was a female, a teenager, and she's allegedly killed. She was killed by the police, I guess, when they got there. Still waiting on some more details on it. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about gun control and stuff like that, and I just said I feel bad when something like this happens. But they blame it on assault rifles, but you don't need an assault rifle to kill a bunch of people. You can use a hunting rifle, from further away. Like guns are guns. I don't know if the solution is banning them, assault rifles. Mama Jenkins said you don't pay to ride the bitch. It's useless. Hamilton want help. Who's gonna pay to get on that train? It's stupid. The messed up part about dating is I'm not gonna keep adding them bodies. Men can date as many women as they want, but let a woman have too many bodies in 1 year, she'll pass around. And see, I think now that's very interesting because I think at this point we should be over the double standard, right? Like I would never judge a woman by that, right? Like if she was a hoe, she was a hoe. Like if she said, well, I used to sell my body, right? Then I would know what that means. And I would say, well, you did what you had to do for whatever reason. I don't know. Right. But it's not something that I'm interested in long term, but I'm not judging you for it. But I don't think we are at the point now where any man can really be judgmental about a woman because she chooses to, move how she wants to. I thought that was all of the point of part of the new black woman being liberated, that she said, if I want to exercise my sexual prowess, it is what it is. I don't think she should be judged harshly, especially if you's a dude who done been out here getting it in. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we should judge him. What you think about that, Real? I know your perspectives on this are a lot more liberal than most. What do you think about that?
Well, me personally, I know that men still do judge because it's just nature. You know what I'm saying? As far as I think on the flip side of a woman having a lot of notches on her belt, it may make a man feel pressured to perform to the best of his abilities because she has shit to compare to. You know what I'm saying? Now, as for me, when I got with somebody, we like before we even did anything, usually we'd go get tested together just to show each other we good and shit. Cause I don't like, inhibitions. You know what I'm saying? If we gonna do it, we gonna go all out. I ain't never fucked with nobody I couldn't kiss, none of that shit. So I never trip, but I do know people who feel like, that's that and the third, but it's all about how you view it. I didn't view it no kind of way. As long as you clean and safe. Again, going back to what I knew, like I knew girls in the life or the profession that were safer and cleaner than women who thought they were only fucking one man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fucking one man, but he was out here living life. You know. But the girls I knew who was in the life, every month like clockwork, they was going to get their numbers ran and shit like that. So I don't look at it like that, but I'm not the average nigga. The average nigga is like, all that shit.
But okay, so question for the fellas would be: you meet a woman, you feeling her, you satisfied, you saying, okay, baby, let's try to figure out what we're gonna do. She said, okay, things are going well. One night she said, I gotta talk to you. What's happening? I had a period in my life where I kind of let it, the women call it a hoe phase. I kind of let it loose a little bit, got out here a little bit, moved around a little bit. What you mean? Went out here and ran through some cats. Okay, well, how many? She say, I don't know, about 15, 20. At that point, do you say, oh, this shit's over? Or do you, I mean, what do you say?
You multiply it by 3.
I mean, for me, it's like I mean, for me, because I am the way I am and who I am, you know, like I said, I've been a sex doula to a lot of women, you know, who they can share their, like, you provide a safe space for them to express themselves so that they can kind of figure out some shit within themselves. So I've had women say that, you know, they fantasize about being like a Mandingo party. I don't know if you know what the fuck that is, but
I got a feeling you're about to tell us.
I mean, if you want me to explain,
I mean, it ain't necessary. I think the connotation is there. I think we
know,
understand.
So
good
for
old-fashioned
them,
gangbang
type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for them, they would express it to me because they could. That ain't no shit you can express to your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? That hey, I've often fantasized about this. I don't know why, but yeah, I do desire to be used.
For real, let him choose. Don't have him go to take you to the bowling alley, and it's like 7, 8 dudes like, oh hell no, he on a date with her.
No,
and then
see,
all of a sudden he wondering why.
That we're talking about what they fantasize about. But what I'm saying is there are women out here who have been involved in shit like that.
Right.
And to that extent, are you clean? I mean, if you clean, to me personally, if I knew you got down like that, as long as you clean, that let me know no holds barred. That mean you down for whatever.
So you be cool with it. You say it's okay, baby. How many gangbangs did you do? If she said I did 3,
are you clean?
As long as you clean, it's still all good. Because like Kumar said, multiply it times 60. So she said, I mean, if she said she did 2, then she did 4.
I feel like you got a lot of bad energy harnessed in you that you need to deal with.
Right. Well, she said, I'm willing to do that, Kamara. I'm willing to go through a spiritual cleansing and
do your thing, sister.
Now, but would you stay with her?
Do your thing, sister. I mean, you know what I mean? I ain't fit to make no issues. I ain't fit to make something happen. I mean, people can tell you whatever they want to tell you.
But you stay with her.
Like I wouldn't have just like, okay, well, bet that I'm finna hold on and I ain't gonna talk to nobody until I see what happened here. No, I'm not finna do that. You gotta live your life, man. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what's planned for you tomorrow. You know what I mean? If somebody ain't ready for you, they just ain't ready for you.
Would you stay?
No.
Okay.
Hey, now that ain't to say that later on in life, if I was single and you know what I mean, I still hadn't found nobody and we met again, you know what I mean, maybe she have her shit together right.
It reminds me.
Maybe. You know what I mean? But at that moment, no. You don't wait on nobody.
It reminds me of a Dave Chappelle.
You came in this world by yourself.
Remember when Dave Chappelle made fun of Real Sex, how HBO Real Sex used to do the interviews, and Dave Chappelle did this kid where the girl he was with his girl, and they said, "Well, what have you ever done that you didn't tell him about?" And she said, "Well, you know, one time I did it with the football team or something like that." And then they showed him later, and he's like, "Well, I'll see y'all later because I'm not gonna be going home with old gangbang here." I know, totally just regressed, man. You know what? I think like you a cold. It's got to be some real love. And I've seen. Listen. Let's not act like we don't know some brothers who have fallen for a female, and you say, "Man, bro, how you going?" You know what I'm saying? Like we know in the neighborhood or whatever, and he say, "Man, that's my girl. I love her." Right. So I think you just have to find. You have to find a place where you're celebrated as opposed to tolerated. You know what I mean? And there's somebody for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a man who will say, baby, who am I to judge you on your past? As long as you ain't, if you still out there like that, there's some dudes who don't mind if she's still out there like that. Like,
there's couples who, I'm in the black kink community.
oh
So,
wow, oh, okay.
they have like Jamaican hedonism events and shit like that. There's husbands and wives that go to events to swing. I mean, do your thing.
Right. Oh my God. Listen, man, to each his own, got me thanking God for Miss Barnes more and more each day, right?
Right. I feel you.
I before we close tonight, man, I want to make sure, because we'll be back on Wednesday. I'm gonna make sure I didn't do a Wednesday show last week, but we'll be on this Wednesday. I had this thing with my son where my son plays AAU basketball, but sometimes he just don't tell me about stuff, right? Like, so I don't know. And it'd be like, I'm sitting down writing the show and he'd say, Dad, I got a game. Why you didn't tell me? I forgot. So in those cases, I got to put my dad cape on and nothing else matters. I had to go and make sure I support the boy. But we'll be on this Wednesday. So we'll get, if you just tuned into the show, and this is your first time, make sure you come back. Mama Jenkins says some of the women can make it do what it do, and it ain't all human. And ain't it all human? It is, and it's all grown up. I think it's grown folks' business. You know what I'm saying? And I, if somebody's lonely and they meet somebody who they love and who they care about, who gives a shit what somebody else thinks about it, right?
Yeah,
that's your people,
right.
right? It don't matter because you ain't got to sleep with her. So, if as your friend, my only responsibility is to make you aware of the situation. To say, bro, that's your girl, right? I know her, back in the days, wumpty whoop whoop whoop. If he said, man, Kev, I don't even care. I say, oh, I just want you to know, man. I ain't here to tell you what to do. You feel me? So more power to you. She said some women can make it do it. They absolutely can make it do what it do. And there's some dudes who prefer a more experienced, sexually aware, sex positive female, right? Who will say to you, no, I want it like this. Or I want you to, how did you learn that? Because I've been doing it. That's how I know my body. So, and I just think right now you just gotta respect it, man. You gotta respect it. But I'm with Kamar too, where it's like, all right, you good people and all, but damn, 3 gangbangs is a little bit for me to digest. Let me go home and meditate and sip some ginger shots or something that Kamar been giving out, because I need clarity. Like, I'm gonna deal with this. 3 of them, damn, multiply them times 3. Oh Lord. Erica Hunt said women are always told to change how they date, and why can't men just say what they mean and mean what they say? Well, real ones do. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate that you haven't encountered some straight up brothers who are 100 enough to say, hey baby, this is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know up front. And I know some cats lie, but like I'm saying, like it's like the same with women. It's unfortunate that men's experiences with women are so negative, because I know the joy of meeting a woman who says, this is what it is. This is, and like I say, my wife I'm lucky because she's always like, hey, this is what it is. And it was no gangbangs, nothing like that. I don't even think I had to say that, but I'm just saying it was clear communication up front about this is what it is. And it's a very rewarding thing when you can say, all right, I can rock with that. And sometimes your history is your history. And I also would tell a lot of my brothers, y'all stop it. Because a lot of us just, come on, like a lot of brothers just been out here bad. So, you really can't. I always told a story about the double standard, because if a man walks in a bar and 5 women walk up to him and say, we want to take you home tonight, and all of us do something with you, his partners go, dog, you the man, dog. Like, dog is a player. If a woman does it, you say she's a J, you jump down, get up. Like, it's like a super double standard. So, but that's a conversation for another night. I want to say this: be aware of your surroundings. Understand that certain things, everything ain't for everybody. Y'all see the newscaster, the white lady in Mississippi, talking about for shizzle my nizzle, lost her job. People get a little too comfortable, but it's not uncommon. Like I said, everything ain't for everybody, and you really, 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 we have lost the cardinal rule. We have lost the art of watching our mouth. People used to say, when I was growing up, my mom would say, watch your goddamn mouth, right? And that used to be a thing because there was certain things that shouldn't be said and certain lines that shouldn't be crossed. And if you did do that, you were a habitual line stepper and you suffered the consequences of whatever he or she had coming to them. And that's why you see somebody like 6ix9ine get the stuff and knocked out of his egg McMuffin. in the bathroom, you run out of money for security, you are always by yourself. And now you everybody's victim. And believe me, once it happens, once the floodgates open, I said all that to say words mean something. And the explosion of podcasts is significant. The explosion of YouTube, these platforms where fuck the music playing behind me talking shit. I'm just gonna talk shit now. That has become the new industry, the new record industry. And it's kind of saturated. So what you get is a lot of people on microphones who should not have access to them saying whatever the hell comes to their mind, right? I want people to understand that this is an art form. Broadcasting, being able to speak, being able to conduct a forum is an art form. I know a lot of people think I should start a podcast. No, you shouldn't. I don't even enjoy talking to you on the phone. Nobody's going to want to sit and listen to your ass for 2 hours. And it's okay for you not to have that talent because, like my brother Kamar always says, it's different spots in the revolution. We are hiring, inquire within, right? You might not be a frontline soldier, but you might be a hell of a cook. You might not be a good cook, but you might be a hell of a seamstress, right? You may not could throw a rock to save your life, but you can plant some goddamn vegetables and cultivate some food. There's different roles that you can play. We got to stop trying to play them all, right? We all want to be a Swiss Army knife, right? And more often than not, when the people have access to microphones that they shouldn't have, they get themselves in trouble, right? Nothing ever has been more true than the old school saying, your mouth will write a check that your ass can't cash, right? So you got to be aware of where you are and what you're doing. Situations dictate circumstances and vice versa, right? And so we need to operate like there's parameters, like there's rules, because there are, right? You ever seen a commercial when there's Little Caesars and he say, there's no rules, and he take off his shirt and somebody say, put your shirt back on, and he say, there's rules. Well, that's what life is. There are rules to it. And when you don't follow them, you end up crossed, right? And nobody wants to be crossed. I believe Willie D called it a triple cross of Mexico. You don't want to be in that situation, man. So keep your head on the swivel, stay safe, be mindful, be present, be intentional, right? But overall, be positive, have integrity. Do the best you can to be a good person, man, because people are going to try to test you. People are going to do things hoping you react to them. Everybody wants you to be triggered. We cannot fall for the okie doke, man. When I say words mean something, I mean even positive words mean something. It's okay for us to uplift each other. It's okay for us to talk about alternative solutions to problems and not get mad at somebody because they don't agree with us, and then we become disrespectful to them, right? If you know, man. And always be prepared to run into some people who talk shit about you or talk about what you do or be in your business, because more often than not, they criticism of the community outweighs their contribution, and ultimately, that makes them coons. So you ain't even got to worry about them. Peace and love, man. I'll see y'all Wednesday night. Outlaw Radio, Capitol Drive, and Atkinson. Stand up. Peace and love.